Let's go.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Geekverse podcast episode. Oh my goodness, 374.
374.
Is that correct?
Yeah. You guys did 373 last week.
I
thought we did 337.
I thought it was the opposite. Yeah, 337.
337. 338 now.
Yeah, that sounds about
When in
right.
doubt, 7,914, right,
Yeah.
Taylor?
Yeah, exactly. There you
We're
go.
doing a cast on a Saturday morning. We're at the loop. I am the Radar podcaster. Trust now.
The what, sorry?
Rated R podcast.
Rated R.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you said like the radar. Like,
The
Yeah.
Radar.
I can scan all
The
the
sonar.
antennas.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, I'm the Adam Hartcaster, Dylan West.
I'm your friendly neighborhood caster, Kirkland Patzer.
I am the celery is 95% water, Taylor Field.
Celery, 95% water.
Oh, yeah.
What's the other 5%?
It's whatever you want it to be.
Oh, God.
Oh, dear.
I don't think that's true.
That's scary. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to news. We got lots of good stuff coming up in the next few weeks. We have Birds of Prey review next week. We have a Sonic review 2 weeks from now. And then after that, we'll be doing a bunch of other things. Oscars are next week. I'll do some sort of predictions cast. I'm hoping Liam's going to join me, but
I'll join you if you can't.
have you seen all of them all?
I've seen most of them.
Okay.
I watched Parasite. I just saw Parasite on Tuesday. It was fucking phenomenal.
It's great.
Yeah.
Well, then I'll probably have you because me and Liam.
Yeah, because Uncut
schedules
Gems
don't
and Irishman are both on Netflix, so I can chug those out quick, and I'm fucking good to go.
work. Yeah, and Irishman quick is a.
I know, I might watch it on 2 times speed, to be honest. I don't want to watch it, but I feel like I should.
Yeah. And
just so
then I don't know if we have anything else dropping. We have. I feel like there's something. We have. Oh, there will be a teaser for something dropping this week in the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
So you get to see that. Patreon, the Suicide Squad commentary track is up there
Yeah, go check
exclusively
that
right
out.
now, $5 tier. I think right before Birds of Prey, I'll probably drop like a 2-minute like clip of that so you can see what we've talked about. But that was lots of fun. Next will be Mortal Kombat in honor of Sonic, so that should be fun. And then just go over to Patreon, support us there, ad-free stuff, early content, exclusive content. Taylor, where can they find us on all the social medias? I'm doing this at the beginning now because
Yeah, this is definitely
I like
a
it.
twist. So, internet connection, search bar, Geekverse Space Podcast, Facebook, Twitter, and Spreaker.
Because how rarely when we get to the 3.5 hour mark are people listening to those last
I know on the
5 minutes?
podcast I listen to, I'm fucking out of there. I got places to
Oh,
be.
yeah.
Exactly.
I know where to
So-
find you guys.
And then, video and audio feeds all down below. Join us on YouTube because we might be trying to live stream a bit more so you can live chat, you can give us super chat, all those type of chats, any type of chat. So what we're doing today, we're going to do some news, but we're going to do a MCU predictions cast because next week we go out DC and then Sonic, and then who knows in 3 weeks what we'll be talking about because that's 3 weeks from now. And I don't know, maybe James Gunn will be fired once again in the MCU. Maybe that's one of your all's prediction. But that's what we're doing because we want...
That would be a good prediction. James Gunn says some more sketchy tweets.
More controversial coming up.
Batista speaks out. But that's what we're doing today because we want to do this at some point, but we've just been pushing off. But we're going to do an MCU Phase 4 prediction. So we all have 5. It's going to work like the draft way where someone goes and let's say it was Phase 3 and Kirkland's like, I think Thanos is going to snap his fingers. No one could make that prediction.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to be doing.
So are we going to do it like someone like snake format? We're just going to go in circles like we've done before?
We could do snake format.
I feel like snake format's kind of good.
Yeah. So any one
Snake
of you
format.
can go first because I'm going to throw some live links. So any one of you want to decide who's going first.
Oh, everyone's looking at me.
I can take it because then it'd be easy to remember.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, I didn't want to go like Kirkland, Taylor.
I don't know what one I want to start with
So,
either. So
I don't
I'll
either.
go
I'm going to
last.
open my notes right now and deliberate while I make this decision. So I wrote down just a bunch, obviously, because if you guys take them,
Yeah.
then I got to have some backups.
And we talked about this in the
Yeah.
group chat. What are your type of predictions? Because we talked about, there's certain ways you could go with this, right? So
Yeah, like I don't know. I have some that are quite reasonable, but also some that are just kind of fucking out there. Honestly, some of these are likely never gonna happen. But I'm just kind of I'm putting what I want into the world, right? And maybe Feige will come back and listen to this cast and be like, this kid knows what's up.
I have some of those as well.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I'm gonna start with my most reasonable one, and maybe one that you guys would have. But I'm gonna predict that Doctor Strange gets delayed. So right at this point, it's coming out next May. It just lost its director. Every day there's like, this person's being cast. This person might be in it. Who the fuck knows? Scarlet Witch, that show got moved forward. I just think there's so much chaos going on. They don't even have a director right now. It's supposed to come out like in, I guess, like a year and 2 or 3 months or something. So I don't know. I'm getting bad vibes from that show overall, hearing some things. And I feel like at this point, it's just not going to hit that date. Whether something's going to move forward, like I guess What If could move forward, or maybe Loki. But it sounds like Loki is very determined, like it's based on what happens in Doctor Strange in terms of opening those multiverse and stuff. So probably not that one. Maybe they move What If up or something. Not sure, but that's my prediction. Doctor Strange is going to get pushed back. I think it'll still come out next year.
Yeah.
But maybe later in the year. Maybe they shuffle some stuff around.
Yeah, it's tough because they have no Thor November, and then they got Spider-Man July. So
yeah.
I don't know. I think if it get delayed,
That's
they'd
tricky.
actually delayed it to 2022. If
Yeah,
they
just
did
push it
delay
all the way back.
Because I don't know when out that. Then they might. So I would say that. I would think it would either get delayed than the full year, or they will make the date, and it's just gonna be really rushed. But who knows? They did that with Ant-Man. They lost Edgar Wright really close into it, so
it's not impossible. And I mean, a year, it's like still over a year away. So.
Yeah.
And it sounds like they already know what they want to do, but I'm just getting bad vibes from the show. That's my prediction.
Yeah.
Is this bad vibe started since Marvel Ultimate Alliance? You know, you got a bad.
Honestly, it kind of did.
Yeah. Bad juju.
My Doctor Strange hype train is leaving the station.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, my first prediction. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna say Deadpool is gonna be the first Fox film that gets introduced to the MCU.
Ooh.
So, and I don't know. I feel like the reason why it would be the first. I'm just calling it a Fox property in the MCU.
Can I ask, is it announced in this phase that's coming out, or you think in these next? 4
I think
years
it'll
it's
be
coming out?
like, yeah. I guess it wouldn't really be Phase 4. So
that's the thing that's tricky, right? Because we're doing like a Phase 4 predictions, but yet we already know everything that's coming out, or like at least we think we do.
I have some.
Some of mine are definitely like more Phase 5.
Yeah,
stuff, but
that was, yeah. I'd say I have.
So do you think
a
it's going to
Phase
get announced
5.
this phase? I think is it
I'd say it'll be hinted maybe at the very end of this phase, like maybe more in
like
Phase
a
5.
post credits or like a Feige dropping a hint.
Ooh,
Because
I feel like the Feige hint would be a lot more likely.
Oh, I was gonna say because for movies you got Black Widow, Eternal, Shang-Chi, Doctor Strange, and then Thor, and then there's a bunch of TV series. I feel like the only place you could see Deadpool potentially. I don't think he fits in Doctor Strange, but just because the multiverse of madness stuff, you know. But
yeah,
Anyway.
the multiverse stuff definitely opens just more possibilities for anything, and I feel like the reason why I chose Deadpool to just be the first like Fox thing to be in the MCU is he would just explain it in such a funny way, like in a fourth wall. Breaking the fourth wall and just saying like, oh, here we are, we were with Fox now, blah blah blah. Like what you can just insert whatever the hell you'd say.
It's not Fox anymore. Make a joke. Like
No,
that.
exactly. And I feel like out of any of like the Fox stuff, like all the X-Men and anyone else that will eventually be in the MCU, I feel like for him you don't need to explain it that clearly because it'll just be like, oh, I'm just in it now, and then everyone's just going to accept it. And I don't know, Ryan Reynolds isn't getting any younger, and I want to see him in the MCU.
Damn.
So yeah, that's my first prediction.
Nice.
Taylor Field. So I imagine yours is gonna start off with Ghost Rider.
I got a heavy hitter here.
But that's the thing. You want to you want to use your ones that you think other people might pick first.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can't hold back that Ghost
No,
Rider
I feel
train.
like if I don't do it, I mean, for sure it's a guarantee, and like, any
For sure someone's gonna take it, or for sure.
I think. Well, I'm sure it's
gonna
going to be a guarantee, and I think for sure someone else could take it. So, and if we were doing double downs, I would totally double down on this.
So yeah, to be straight, this is a guaranteed prediction you're telling.
I'm telling you, guaranteed.
Take it to the bank.
Ghost Rider will pop off in Phase 4 here. I am guaranteeing it.
You're gonna see him on screen.
I want a bit. So that's your prediction, but I still want a bit more being specific.
Yeah, what do you mean
where.
exactly?
Now, if I was to
Yeah,
double
pop.
down on this and be very specific, I would say he's going to pop up in Doctor Strange.
Okay.
Ooh.
But you're saying that we're gonna see Ghost Rider on screen
Yes.
and not like just in like a promotional thing. Like he's gonna appear in a movie
He's going
or
to
a
be
show.
in a movie or a show.
Okay.
Yeah. But my instinct is telling me
I
he's
love
going to
it.
be in the movie.
Let's fucking
Doctor
go.
Strange, which is
Let's
why
go.
I hope
I'm
it's not
in.
delayed because I think they got Nick Cage on set.
No.
They did. They're casting Emily Blunt. She could play like a female Ghost Rider. Yeah.
Do you actually think it would be Nick Cage?
No.
Okay, yeah,
as much
good.
as I wish. I mean, they're not looking at it like, oh, Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. I don't think Feige's like, Ghost Rider is Nick Cage.
He's
so.
an Oscar winner. That guy's a fucking
He is.
prize to this
It
earth.
is.
Yeah.
There is some like parallel universe where you could have like Toby Spider-Man, John, his Nick Cage, and then Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, and it'd be quite wild as the old
Wow.
guard, But
Give it to me.
okay, so yeah, I kind of have a bunch, but I was kind of stuck in between. Do I go for like the really realistic Taylor? Don't look at my list. Oh yeah, sure. Do I go for the really realistic play of like trying to for sure get some points, or do I like go for the wild stuff? And I'm going more for the wild stuff for fun. So I think this is a bold one, but my prediction is, so you have Doctor Strange possibly coming up. She's getting her own show. I think Scarlet Witch is going to die in Phase 4, and she's not going to make it to the next Avengers movie. I think she's going to die in Doctor Strange, and that's going to be her send-off. Because I think we have the X-Men possibly coming up, and people have always been like, well, what do they do? She's Magneto's daughter. I think if Quicksilver's dead and she's dead, you can just ignore that entire thing and never even have to talk about it. So that's why I think, and also there's part of vibes of me that thinks Scarlet Witch may be a semi-villain in Doctor Strange, like maybe by mistake or maybe that she's going crazy. So I'm saying that Scarlet Witch
That's so risky because the MCU right now is already such a sausage fest, and they like Black Widow. I mean, I don't know. We have to wait and see this movie, but like her character's dead, right? So this is probably gonna be her send-off movie. So I don't know. I don't think they're gonna kill off the two biggest female characters like back to back like that.
I thought that, but then you got Eternals coming up. You're gonna get her. We don't know what's happening with Natalie Portman if she's gonna be Thor like full time. We also have people have said that younger.
I mean, Wasp is big. Like people like Wasp.
Yeah.
But there's no Ant-Man movie coming.
Some people have said that Black Widow's sister like Florence Pugh might end up being like the new Black Widow. So
what about like Hawkeye's daughter or
Kate
stuff
Bishop?
like has that been rumored that she might be popping
she's gonna be in the show, so she could.
But those are all like mostly unknown entities, right?
Yeah.
Like,
For sure.
True.
Miss Marvel.
I like the prediction though.
Yeah. But that's. I just think they're gonna go for something different. Because I don't know. Obviously, they're bringing Vision back, and that's going to be like, I think, a Pet Cemetery thing where it's like, oh, he's more evil. So I feel like they're going to close the story on Vision, and then I don't know what's left for her other than being a good character I want around, but I think her story could be kind of done in WandaVision, and if they make her any close to a villain in Doctor Strange, it's tough for her to come back from that, I think, on the actual team. So that's my, maybe bold prediction. I'm predicting that she dies in Phase 4.
Ooh.
Interesting. So
Interesting.
I mean, Travis, you're going again here, but
yeah,
I just want to note that for both the predictions that Kirkland and Travis just made, I have like a similar one, but it's different. So now I got those in my back pocket. I'm gonna save those. For later.
Same, but different.
Yeah,
but still same.
So I go next. Me and Dylan kind of talked about this at Comic-Con, and I'm gonna double down on it. I think, this is tough because I kind of have two related to this group, but I think the Fantastic Four, the idea of them, will be introduced in Captain Marvel specifically.
Ooh.
Captain Marvel, because you got the Skrulls, you got space, there's some stuff going on, and the way I'm pitching this, and this is going to be into my prediction, #voice crack, is that I think that Fantastic Four is going to be a movie like Doctor Strange, where it happened kind of in the past, but then it ended with it being present day. I think Fantastic Four is going to be like it showing maybe concurrently to Endgame or right after Endgame, and then it's going to end in the phase of whatever we are in. But I think we're going to get set up there. I think there's going to be some big stuff popping off Fantastic Four, and I don't even know if it's just a character introduced. I don't even know if it is an end credit, but I think something will be introduced in Captain Marvel. So that one I think is bold because it's so specific, but I'm willing to die on that. And I also have some other prediction that might factor into that, but that's my prediction.
I like that a lot. I would like to see that.
I have one that's very similar to that. I don't know if I'll choose it, but we'll see if people take
Cross
mine.
that bridge when it comes.
Yeah.
Taylor Field. Is this another Ghost Rider?
Yeah, so now like Ghost Rider. Yeah.
It's like my predictions will be 5 for 5 Ghost Rider predictions.
Watch, what if they just get more specific? Like Ghost Rider is going to appear in the third act of Doctor Strange. Like
at the hour 42 mark. My prediction is I think we will see the Silver Surfer.
Silver Surfer.
Here's your order, man. Everyone at Feige just lose all faith. He makes Silver Surfer a waiter.
I don't know why I'm picturing the guy from Scary Movie 2 right now. He's my Silver Surfer.
Silver Surfer.
Okay, so he did.
So is this? Yeah. Tell me about this.
Now, it's hard for me to really predict like what movie he would pop in. Like, if I had to feel like he was going to appear in a movie, I felt like maybe Guardians 3 or like Thor.
That's
Love and Thunder.
Guardians on Phase 4 though.
Phase 5?
No, yeah.
But it could
3,
get
is it?
announced. Like
Yeah.
you could
Guardians 3, is
say
it?
it's going to be
Guardians
announced
3
that
is Phase 5.
Surfer's the
Oh.
villain of Guardians 3 or something.
Well, even then, like, I wouldn't think he'd be like the villain in that sense. But I mean, I don't know.
You just
Like,
think he'd be in it. So you don't think
thought
he's
he'd
tied
be
to
in it.
Fantastic Four necessarily?
No, I think that with them kind of like tackling space and like leaving what was it? It was Spider-Man Far From Home's end credit scene with like them showing like the sword and like space and all that. I feel like okay, like they're branching out into this for reasons like maybe they're gonna do the Silver Surfer incorporate his story at some point. So
there was a rumor, I don't believe it, but the rumor was Christian Bale was playing him. I don't believe that. I just don't think Christian Bale's gonna.
You don't want to believe it, or you?
No, I just don't think he won't.
I'm trying to picture how MCU's like what style they're gonna go for with Silver Surfer because he's such a very like highly animated kind of character.
Well, it's just the silver paint, like we talked about that before.
Just
paint him up.
You don't think also same thing? Maybe it's not Fantastic Four, but Captain Marvel I think is another spot because Nick Fury introduced Sword. I think Sword's gonna be a big thing in Captain Marvel because she's like space bound, right? So there's a chance maybe he's the villain in that or misunderstood in that. Or something.
Well, maybe
that's how she's so powerful. She has to fight the Silver Surfer.
That's some good assistance from Travis there.
Yeah,
I will narrow it down to.
Oh wow.
Well, yeah, I still don't know if it would be in like Thor.
You don't have to
Thunder,
narrow it down.
But like
I narrow it down for that.
Well, I mean, I didn't even think about that because like it would make sense to be in like a Captain Marvel 2 in that sense, and them kind of exploring space. So if I had to narrow it down, I'd probably say I could see Silver Surfer pop up in
not Hawkeye.
Captain Marvel. No, not Hawkeye. But I don't think Silver Surfer would even be like a huge like character if he was in the movie. I feel like there's quite possibly a chance he might be like an end credit scene foreshadowing what's to come because when you get him, you get that connection to Galactus. I feel like so it's just one of those things like they're not dropping the Thanos in his chair right away as an end credit scene, but they're dropping
like
crumbs.
Dylan said, you think we'd get Silver Surfer before Fantastic Four? Or is this after Fantastic Four has been hinted at as well?
Well, like you,
What comes
Fantastic.
first?
When did you say Fantastic Four would be like showcased? Or
I
whatever?
said Captain Marvel. I think Silver Surfer they save because if Galactus is coming, I think they still want to save that a bit. I think that's Phase 5.
Well,
Maybe?
that's why they would drop like the breadcrumbs. Like with Thanos, we got him in like Phase 1 or whatever.
Here's a question. That's true. And here, does it count if they even say anything? Because in Phase 2 in Winter Soldier, they said the name Stephen Strange. Obviously, there's no movie till Phase 3. They announced it. Does that count? Like, would Taylor get a point for that if they even mentioned the Silver Surfer? Just like.
I think because that's a huge like foreshadow what's to come.
Yeah, because
right?
that's like that makes it that he is a character in
He's
the
canon.
he's canon. Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
So I think it fits.
Okay.
Well, does Silver Surfer have a regular name?
I think he did at one point. I'm very lax on my
John
lore.
Smith.
Yeah.
Tiny Tin.
Tiny Tim.
That wasn't it. That wasn't it. So yeah, you're saying he's just introduced in the M's, kind of similar to Deadpool. He's introduced in
like
Phase 4.
I don't think he'll be introduced with the Fantastic Four because I feel like he's very much his own character and he's got his own storyline. He's doing.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna I don't know his origin. If he's trying to keep his planet safe in the comics.
His planet gets destroyed by
kids.
Galactus, and then,
Galactus, you jerk.
immortal enemy.
Doesn't Galactus make him? Or am I mistaken?
Gave him the
something
board.
Like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't he give him the
Pooped him out.
board?
He pooped him
I
out.
think so. Yeah.
He
But
wasn't.
that's
He
for
wasn't
my
silver
least
when he came
knowledge.
out.
I've never-
Not anyone can give you a magical board like that.
No.
True.
No.
Kirkland.
Alrighty, here we are. My second prediction. I'm gonna go with Shang-Chi will get tied into Doctor Strange somehow. I feel like the origin of his magic will look and feel similar to how Doctor Strange is, just like helping his kung fu and stuff like that. Magic fingers. I don't know. I feel like that would be like a good fit for him too. I don't know too much about that character, but I believe it comes. Shang-Chi comes out. Yeah.
Silver Surfer.
Saturday morning, maybe.
Yeah. Shang-Chi comes out and then Doctor Strange, right?
You might be correct, sir. Yeah,
I
he
think
is
I'm right on
correct.
that.
Yep.
So yeah, I think like at the end of Shang-Chi, it'll get brought up something with Doctor Strange, and then he'll appear in that film.
Are you putting that in the predictions that you said saying she's going to appear in Doctor Strange?
I say he'll get tied in with Doctor
Okay,
Strange.
because you did say
I'm
appear. That's
gonna
more
stick with
bolder than
tied in.
tie in. Yeah. Appearing.
At this rate, Doctor Strange is gonna be a fucking Avengers movie.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of homies.
That's
You got
for Spidey.
Ghost Rider, you got the Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
I think there's a chance Tom Holland's in that movie too. So I think it is going to be pretty loaded. We'll talk
Whoa,
about when we
you're
get
giving
to
away
the
your
news section,
predictions.
But yeah, no, it's not. But like, it could be pretty loaded.
Also, this is just like a little like add-on to my prediction. For some reason, I just feel like Shang-Chi will be buddies with like Wong. So that's part of my
back Wong.
Oh yeah, totally.
Bring
So
back. He's still there.
that's my number two
He was
prediction.
in a game.
He led the charge in Endgame.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
He brought all those. You wanted more. Okay, so Shang-Chi will tie into Doctor Strange. Dylan Musk, number 2 prediction.
Yeah, so I get 2 in a row here. I have a Shang-Chi one that I feel like dropping now, but I'm gonna start with this one. Okay, this one is not necessarily something that's going to happen in Phase 4, but I think it's going to get announced during Phase 4. I think that Disney is going to acquire the distribution rights to Hulk again. I think they're going to get that back. The reason being, I mean, Hulk's still around. If you look at like kind of the old guard, the 6 Avengers, like after Widow's movie, like most of them are kind of gone, right?
Yeah.
Like, I guess Thor's still doing his thing, but you know, you've already lost some heavy hitters, and even Spider-Man's kind of on the ropes. Like if you look at obviously comic books have taken a whole different turn in the last decade, and like who's popular now is like totally different than what it was 20 years ago. But even then, if you look like historically, like the biggest characters that everyone recognizes are like, you know, Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, and Hulk. I feel like those are like the big 4. And so I feel like with Spider-Man being in this weird spot where Sony's gonna keep fucking cucking them and like screwing around, and then you know you lose Iron Man, you lose Cap, you losing a lot of these big people. I think they're gonna want Hulk as. I know we have She-Hulk, and that's like a place he could appear and whatnot, but I think they're going to want to have another Hulk movie at some point in time, and I think it's going to get announced during Phase 4 that they get the rights back to do that.
Okay, Hulk rights back.
All right, I got another one now. So, oh man, so many places I could take this. Where do I want to go? I think I'm gonna go for my Shang-Chi one, just to pair off Kirkland here. So I think Shang-Chi, I think there's going to be that's going to be the first time that we get a reveal or like a tease to the next big bad, whether that's a Kang or Beyond or a Galactus, something like that. I think Shang-Chi's going to be the first time that happens. I think that's going to be their big incentive to get you to theater. You need to see this post-credit scene, or oh my god, do you guys see this little moment? Like, what does this mean? Like this kind of thing. I think they need some big selling point on the movie, because like, who the fuck is that character?
Yeah.
Like they need a reason to get you there, and I think that could be a big thing. Like you want to see this post-credit scene.
With Big Bad, would it be like Loki level if this guy's gonna lead the next crossover, or is it Thanos level, like he's gonna lead the next like 3 phases villain?
See, I don't know if they're gonna do another Thanos thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna do another 20 movie streak. They might just do like these little mini arcs instead, especially with like X-Men and like it's just gonna get so messy. Like there's so much to play with. So I don't know. I think it'll be someone who's around for more than 2 movies, maybe. Like their presence is felt on the MCU as a greater whole.
I can smell that. Yeah, I want to say more, but I don't, because it will spoil one of my predictions.
That's
so
fair.
I think that's possible. I think you're right about Shang-Chi. That even with Black Widow, they've said like, oh, you don't want to miss it.
Yeah, because even though they've said like the Mandarins in it, like who fucking cares? That doesn't really matter.
Any other way too, they can hopefully they don't completely tie it back to Tony Stark creating another villain, but the Mandarin has been around at least in the MCU, so there's ties to it. So yeah, that's a good call. And especially that's after Eternal. So hopefully Eternals doesn't bomb, but it won't.
Hopefully Eternals doesn't bomb.
Kirkland.
Alrighty. I don't know if this one is too similar to one that was already said.
You could try it.
Maybe I'll pitch it, and if you guys turn it down, then I'll go with someone else. I'm gonna say that Eternals will hint at Galactus, sort of like how.
No, that's fine. That you're just one upping him, saying no, it's gonna happen earlier. Yeah.
Sorry, what did you say?
I think Galactus is gonna be hinted in Eternals.
Okay.
Because I feel like that's like the
Well,
big.
you're being-
Fucking just
Yeah.
stole my shit. This fucking guy.
Well, you're going specifically with Galactus.
Yeah.
Because I was
You
I
said
was
big
more
bad.
vague.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I was trying to think like when was Thanos introduced? Was that Guardians?
Avengers.
Oh, it was Avengers.
Avengers
One
Okay.
credit scene, he looked in the camera and smiled.
Right. Very blue.
Yeah, he
or
was
very
blue at the
purple.
time.
Yeah.
Blueberry.
Yeah, very blue. I don't know. I just feel like Eternals is like this big space like force, and I feel like they're gonna be in the MCU for a while and pretty relevant. So I don't know. I feel like with how powerful they seem, I don't know. I feel like they'd be the best place to introduce like another like space force that is just big and
Space
mean.
force.
Yeah.
Someone that you're scared of.
Yeah, exactly. So
out there in the cosmos.
I don't know. I feel like it's like even if it's just like an end credit scene or if they just like mention his name, like something like that, I feel like it'll be our first glimpse at Galactus.
It's tough because I like it. It seems early to specifically say Galactus, but I like the movie, so I'm not going to take this as my prediction. But I wonder if that would be Eternals 2, maybe if that would get that. But I think because they're dealing with these big space gods and thousands of years, so I like the setting of it. If it is Galactus, that would be a good place to set up. And same thing like Dylan was saying, it gives people a reason, like, oh, you see Galactus at the end credits, so they go up. But
this may be bold to say, but I feel like Eternals 2. I know it's down the line, but I feel like that'll even be like Galactus is coming, like in that movie. Like not necessarily like it'll end with like a bit like you see Galactus like on the way, but it's like by the end of that movie you realize that like shit's coming. Galactus is on the way. So
He ate a planet.
yeah, that was one of my
Ate a
predictions,
planet.
but that's like phase 5. So
Where'd Saturn
I was
go?
keeping that in my reserves. Yeah.
All right, Taylor. So you specifically just had one taken from you. So are you
Very
going to change
specifically.
You're going to change it up and just do a different
Were you
movie, or
about
you're
to
gonna
use
take a
that
whole
one
I was
too?
about to use that.
Are you
Yeah.
going to do a whole different
Exactly
prediction
that, like
altogether?
verbatim.
Yeah,
Let's
Galactus
go,
would probably be mentioned in.
That's what I call
Eternals,
strategy.
Let's go,
right?
Town.
Oh,
So are you
yeah.
glad you did your
Mensch.
Doctor Strange, your Ghost Rider claim first then? That's the thing.
I'm still
man.
glad because it's gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah,
Easy point.
Your heart was on the line.
Gonna happen.
Oh yeah,
That was gonna be mine too.
So
for me.
my backup in this case is I think that I don't think it's gonna come out in this phase 4. I think it will be announced that they're going to do it. That we're gonna get the Midnight Suns.
Ooh.
I think it's definitely gonna happen.
Okay.
I think we're gonna get Punisher, Ghost Rider, Moon Knight,
Doctor Strange.
Blade, Doctor Strange. I think we're gonna get all these boys. It's gonna be
Interesting.
so good.
I like it.
Okay, I won't comment because I'm gonna predict right
Morbius.
now that I think Morbius. I think Blade is going to debut in the Marvel's Disney's Plus Moon Knight. I think that for a while. I think it's a horror-esque type of show. I don't know how it's gonna happen because I don't know if he's just an end credit. I don't know if he has an actual role. I just think it's strange that they announced Mahershala Ali, but they've still not said anything about a writer or a director. They've not announced a date for Blade. So I think even if I'm wrong with Moon Knight, I think it sounds like he's gonna do the Black Panther Spider-Man route and debut in something else first and then go. I think Moon Knight, the only reason I hold back is because it's a Disney Plus series, but Mahershala Ali seems like a cool dude, so maybe they can pitch it to him.
He is a cool dude.
I think Midnight Suns, we've heard that. I think so. You think it's gonna be announced? I guess I should clarify. Do you think it's a series, or I guess it'd be a movie, right? Yeah, if
I think
you got
it'd be a
Strange in there,
movie, yeah.
yeah. Okay, so it could be announced. Yeah. So I'm going with Blade's gonna debut in Moon Knight. I think it fits. There's been rumors of Werewolf by Midnight. There's horror-esque moments. Moon Knight has problems with Dracula. And there's been rumors, too, that Dracula might be a villain in Moon Knight. If he's a villain in Moon Knight, you kind of just have to, the bridge is already there that they're introducing vampires, right? And when you do that, maybe Blade's a guy that's dealt with Dracula before. Who knows? So that's my prediction, that Blade will be debuting in
Clean.
Moon Knight. Yeah, and I hope we do, because I want to. It's way too long for Mahershala Ali. 2 more years till we see him. They should. I'm happy they announced that, but I'm just frothing at the mouth to get him.
I feel like in the sense that Avengers Endgame is just such a huge thing, and they ended on that for now, and they're coming out with all these different stories and characters that why rush to another Avengers? I think Midnight Suns is a good another team,
Guardian style.
yeah, Guardian style that could kind of satisfy the itch and give us something
I think it's
new.
just that's not as marketable, right?
Well, it depends. They got to build up to that, right, with these other characters. Because if they build up to another Avengers already, then I think people are going to be well, it's good.
People are
but
still gonna go see it though.
they still will,
gonna
but
make
it's
a
just
shit
another
ton of money.
Avengers. So, and
Avengers,
it
I
may
don't know.
it may just feel like okay, it's just a fresh start after Endgame kind of thing. But in this sense, I feel like if they're doing Midnight Suns and they announce it this phase for phase 5 or something like that, then it's okay, we got Doctor Strange, we got Moon Knight was such a good show, we
John
saw
Barrenthall's
that. and-
back.
yeah, and people get kind of
Stealing my
excited and be
prediction? What are you doing?
I want to see these characters come back, because Doctor Strange was super good and all that. So
You think it'd be a movie specifically?
I think it'd be a movie
I think
specifically.
he's right. I think Benedict Cumberbatch should not do no Disney Plus. I think he would.
I think that'd be a very expensive show.
Yeah.
So I don't
Oh
think they
yeah.
could do that.
More expensive than Endgame.
Yeah, unless you have to pay for a premium, Disney Plus premium. To
Oh,
get
no,
Disney Plus
don't do
Plus.
it. Don't do it.
Okay, and then my penultimate prediction here. This one, it's similar to Captain Marvel. I know I've been saying this for a while, but I'm going to do it. I feel unconfident about this, but they're being very cagey. Actually, I cannot do that because it's phase 5. Fuck. My prediction was Doctor Doom's going to be the a villain in... You know what? Fine. They're gonna announce that Doctor Doom is gonna be the villain in Black Panther 2. So they'll announce that in Phase 4.
Ooh.
So that's why I'm not sure if that's what Dylan's saying, Shang-Chi, if Dr. Victor Von Doom is just a businessman for a while, maybe you introduce him kind of, slowly as what we've kind of pitched with Norman Osborn. I don't know if that's happening anymore, so maybe he can be that guy that's kind of sprinkled throughout the MCU. It's just Victor Von Doom. I don't know if they're gonna call him Victor Von Doom because it's just such a name, but even if he's just Victor making deals, he's with the Mandalorian. He's with
The Mandalorian.
Crossover.
with oh god, what's his actual name? Why am I thinking? Why can't?
I can't wait for the Super Smash Bros. With all the Disney franchises. That's gonna be so sick. Mandalorian.
Who are you thinking of?
Mandarin.
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
who I'm thinking of. God. So yeah, I think he will be announced. Maybe he'll be sprinkled throughout the MCU. So that's why I think that if you get Fantastic Four in Captain Marvel, that's coming out in that's also Phase 5 thing. So I fucked myself there. So good job, Travis.
I have a lot
So
of
you're
Phase
like,
5
wondered
predictions in mine. I just realized.
What?
I have a lot of Phase 5 predictions in mine. I just
yeah,
realized.
so it's Saturday morning, folks. But I'll have other honorable mentions shout out. But I feel like you can kind of get this mix of this storm and then set up the perfect Fantastic Four versus Doctor Doom. Maybe they won't even touch each other. And that's why my pitch of Fantastic Four movie being like Doctor Strange, where it's kind of happening in the past and building up. They'll probably start of when they're in college together, Reed and Victor, because that's the whole story. They start, they're friends, and it's always a kind of like friendly rivalry. So that's why I think you get the Doctor Strange, like, oh, we know these characters, let's see how they got there, and then you'll get the big lead up. And yeah, so I think Phase 4 is going to not have a bunch of Fantastic Four stuff, but the kind of breadcrumbs of the future. So, but maybe I'm wrong.
Breadcrumbs of the future.
Taylor, your second last prediction.
Breadcrumbs of the future.
I think that we will possibly see an Iron Fist Easter egg of some sorts in Shang-Chi.
Oh, I think that's a dead zero.
Really? I think they might.
I think Shang-Chi is the replacement
Don't
for
they
Iron
have the
Fist.
rights back at this point?
Oh yeah, they can do well. If I, well, they're not going to use whatever. What's his name? Finn
Blockberry.
Finn Jones. I don't think if they wanted to. If they wanted to use him, they got to wait another year. But I don't think they're gonna. So it could work out. But
But can they use those characters now?
yeah, they could use a recasted new
Yeah.
version. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll get like an Easter egg, or maybe they just drop like a mention. What's the city called or whatever that he's from?
That's
Kunlun.
different.
So maybe Shang-Chi will be like, yeah, I'm out from Kunlun and we're here.
So what do you
Shenlong,
pi-
the Eternal Dragon.
So same thing. Are you pitching like Iron Fist? Danny Rand's actually going to be in one of these, or it's an Easter egg?
Like, is it a symbol on a wall?
yeah.
Is it...
That's a cheap.
It's the main villain.
That's a cheap point.
my prediction is that they eventually will throw in Danny Rand into this, but I think they're not going to just throw him into like. It's going to be subtle. It'll be like Captain America's shield, put under like an Iron Man 2's like
The fans are
pipe
beating it
thing
up.
or whatever.
I'm
so.
picturing now that like when this movie hits Netflix, like Taylor's like, guys, I found it, and you're gonna like, it's gonna be you, your little graphic designer self, just like modifying in like a fucking Iron Fist logo.
I could do it. I
At
very
random
well
spot.
could do it. That's
He
not
has
a
the
bad
power.
idea.
Was that
Playing
Joker thing actually photoshopped?
No, I was just
Oh,
fucking
okay,
around.
I wasn't sure. I thought, you never know.
I just felt like
Kirkland
messing
Patzer.
Alrighty. I'm gonna spit this one out. This is very
Spit
similar to Travis' prediction. So this is pretty much Phase 5, but I'm just gonna go with
Just go for it.
he did it, so I'm gonna do it too. I'm gonna say Black Panther 2. The main villain is gonna be Namor, and it's gonna be Namor and Atlantis invading Wakanda. I feel like that'd be really sick to just see like another mystical world like Wakanda, but
Another
like
king.
yeah, another king, Atlantis. And I also feel like Namor will like turn in the end. I feel like he'll be I don't know too much about the character, but the stuff I looked into
He's got gills.
He's
got
their
gills.
Aquaman. He's technically, and that's why some people have talked about him. He's technically Harold is like the first mutant.
Yeah,
ever.
I see. When I was looking at that, it also got me just like I really wanted to throw it in there because I feel like that'd be a good way to introduce the mutants too, the X-Men stuff, and just to tie it in again. I don't know. I think we might possibly see Storm introduced in
that's a good
Wakanda.
idea. I like that a lot.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like she'd just be
Shows
cool
both
pairing.
That's not on the official predictions though, right? Or
No, it's like my tie-in. Like my last one, I had a little tie-in. Shang-Chi being buddies with Wong. This is Storm being introduced in Black Panther 2.
I like that because I mean that's what happens in Ultimate Alliance. You don't encounter Storm at the X Mansion. You encounter her at Wakanda.
Yeah, exactly. I was inspired by that.
That's
See,
cool.
I think where you could possibly get Storm in Black Panther 3, because I think in 2 they'll kill off his love interest first. Because remember they got together. So I think they'll pull a Dark Knight to Dark Knight Rises where you kill off love interest and then boom, here comes Catwoman. I think same.
The
thing will
rebound.
happen. Yeah, the rebound.
Black Panther 3, the rebound.
yeah. All right, so you had.
So I got 2 to close it off here.
Yeah, you get your last 2. Yeah.
So there's so many ways I could take this. Like I have one that's like it would not happen in Phase 4. So I think I'll just leave that one. I had another Doctor Strange one, but think we've had enough of those, so I'll just leave that one at the door.
We can shut them out at the end.
Yeah,
too.
I'll shut them at the end. So I'm going to go with these two, which are just full on from the heart picks. I just want these things more than anything. So this one, Travis just joked about. I think it could possibly happen is John Bernthal coming back as Punisher. I think it'll get announced in Phase 4. Whether or not he'll play in a movie Phase 4, probably not. But I think it'll get announced. And I mean, it's tricky because that's such a savage character, so brutal. Like, how does that fit into the Disney sphere?
Yeah.
But I think they're going to want to make it happen because he's so damn good as that character. Like the Marvel Netflix series in general. Like, I think other than maybe Iron Fist, like they had really great casting across the whole line, but I feel like he was by far the best, and that's just like a testament to how good he was.
For some reason, I feel like he'd fit well with like Blade. I don't know.
Well, I think he would be in Midnight Suns over there. If he is in there, he's a bankable. Well, I don't know bankable star, but he's a star. People know who John Bernthal is at least.
Exactly.
So,
He's a big time guy. Okay, and this last one is just fucking out there. So we know that there's rumblings the Thunderbolts happening. It might happen, whether it's a show, whether it's a movie, whether they're villains. Who knows what form they're going to take? But they're coming, okay? They're on a collision course. I think they need some female presence in their team. I think that Songbird is going to be
let's
of
go
the
Songbird.
Thunderbolts. Let's go Songbird.
Wow, that's
I like that.
That's a bold prediction right there.
Yeah, but if I'm right, how sick am I?
Oh yeah. She has been a Thunderbolt before, so
She
never
sure
know.
has.
Yeah.
She sure has.
Alrighty,
Kirk,
my
your
final
last one.
prediction.
And Anna Armas is gonna. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't think that's out of the question either. I think she will appear in a superhero franchise in the next 5 years. She's after it. She's
cool.
that close to Catwoman.
She's cool. All right. I really want to do this prediction, but this is very much like Phase 5. So I don't know if I want to cross
that at
that.
the end.
Okay, I'll
I had one that's very Phase 5.
Yeah.
I'll shout out the end. I'm pretty confident it'll come to fruition, but
Fruition or
Fruition.
it's one of those Saturday mornings.
Talking like Travis Snell over there.
Yeah. So my official one, and this is a big hope. I don't know if this will actually happen, but for me, I really want it to. I think that the Secret Wars will be sprinkled in throughout Phase 4 and Phase 5. Probably mostly Phase 5 if it does happen, not so much Phase 4. But
right.
I don't know. I feel like that would. I don't know, because like the Spidey stuff is interesting with like Disney and MCU right now, but I feel like you could also do it like without him. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like because we have like with Eternals and maybe like Fantastic Four, like just so many really out there different teams.
Yeah.
Like this would be a way you could throw them all together.
Yeah.
And then they could meet up afterwards. Right?
Exactly.
Like, we got to find those.
Yeah,
people.
that's why I don't even think it would be like, I don't know, like maybe tail end of Phase 5 is when they're really like bringing it in, but probably would be like Phase 6. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like I could be wrong, but I thought Kevin Feige was saying that he was really interested in the Secret Wars.
I think it was the Russo brothers said that.
Oh, was it the Russo
only way
brothers?
they're coming
Okay.
back to do another one? Well, maybe not the only way, but if they're going to come back, it's because they want to do Secret Wars.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Yeah.
And they do, remember, Spider-Man does appear in one more MCU film, so maybe it's not
Right.
Doctor Strange, but they could
Yeah.
save it for that. I don't know how long that contract is, but I think they
Yeah.
would save it for. I think they will. I'm saying Doctor Strange, but I think it would be smarter than to save it for a gigantic crossover like Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame. So
Yeah. So that's my number 5, Secret Wars.
Number 5, Secret Wars.
I want it. Give me that Spidey suit.
Man, what if MCU just like uses their last Spidey showing to kill off Tom Holland, and then Sony's like, "Fuck,
You can't use it anymore.
See you, Taylor.
So
Field, another
this is the
Ghost Rider?
last one. That's what it is?
That's correct.
Yep, that's 5.
So, yeah, no, I feel like that's all I got for Ghost Rider, which is good. I feel like, the
One's all you need.
Midnight Suns and him appearing, in Doctor Strange, this Phase 4 is like all I need for him. But I'm going to drop that we see Adam Warlock pop off in Phase 4.
Ooh,
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't think
Really,
he's going
before
to...
Guardians.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to drop in Guardians 3 because I feel like they're going to already tackling storylines with chasing Gamora and throwing in Thor into the mix. So I feel like that's already a lot on their plate in that story. And I feel like Adam Warlock is someone that they're not going to just kind of leave for like 2 more phases and just kind of like
I feel
go
like
back
he's so
to.
tied to the Infinity Saga though, or like that the Infinity Gauntlet storyline.
Well,
I feel like
is
Gamora
he?
is
Because
as well, though.
He was just like a end credit scene, right? And you just kind of wonder like, oh, what's going to happen with him? And they never really call back to it.
What movie
In the
was he in?
Infinity
The
Saga?
end credits scene?
Guardians 2.
Guardians 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh wait, really?
So-
What? I forget about this. What happened? Can you remind me?
It was just like the end credit scene where like the priestess or whatever was just like looking like shit on like the steps, and she was like, you could see like incubation, whatever chamber behind her, where Adam Warlock was like growing
she's
in.
creating him and everything like
Oh
that as
shit!
like a weapon.
I totally forgot that this was a thing.
Yeah, as like
Yeah.
a weapon to fight the Guardians, and she's like, "I'll
Let's
call
go,
him-
Adam
I'll
Warlock.
call
Let's make it
him."
fucking happen. Yeah, I love this prediction.
Yeah,
Let's go. Taylor did his research.
It's just tough for me to say if he wouldn't be in Guardians 3 because he was introduced to the end credits in Guardians.
Well, he
2,
could
so.
he could be, but I think he'll be. Well, not introduced. I think he would be in Guardians 3. I would think because he has got like a connection with those characters. But I think he'll be introduced sooner than that because Guardians 3 has so much going on on its plate already with the storylines that they've already established. So I feel like. Yeah, I don't know exactly what movie he would make an appearance in. I'm assuming again something spacefaring, but
I mean, he could be like the villain of Guardians 3. and then
That's what I was
turn
thinking.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna be like the main villain in Guardians 3 and then turn.
person.
Okay, so I have two that are like, I think could happen, but they're just kind of like, man, I'm going last, so I kind of have to end it big. So I'm just gonna say,
You don't have to.
fuck it.
Thane is debuting in the MCU.
Thanos.
I'm just gonna say, we got to Doctor Strange Multiverse Madness, but we got other stuff going.
Do it.
Do
it.
Do it.
I'm
Put a
just gonna say
Palpatine in the
one
sky.
way
Do
or
it.
another.
Kill me. Strike me down.
I don't know if it'll be specifically that character, but I'm gonna say Hugh Jackman will appear in Phase 4.
Yeah,
Oh.
baby.
Phase
MCU.
4.
Phase 4. Yeah, that's what I like.
Oh.
But I still
Damn.
think there's a chance. Even when we heard about like some news, which we'll talk about, like different actors playing other characters, I think there's a chance you could see Hugh Jackman play like an Iron Man because he was rumored at one point. They approached him to play Iron Man, so
I cannot picture that. He's too jacked.
yeah, they approached him.
Wouldn't fit in the suit.
They approached him after we did learn this in in the X retro, is that X-Men retro, not just X retro, but after
That's
X1,
awesome.
they approached him to see if he wanted to play the Punisher, and then after X2, they approached him to see if he wanted to play Iron Man. So he was approached multiple times while playing Wolverine to play these other
Hugh
roles
Jackman
as well.
Punisher is also a cool idea.
Yeah,
I mean, no
so-
one's as good as Bernthal, but
So who knows? But I think there's a chance if we do see a bunch of weird multiverses going on, I think there's a chance you get just the slightest look at some claws on Hugh Jackman. I don't know. It's just because I just feel like the door's open ever since JK came back. I know it's a different situation, but that changed everything. So that's the big one. Am I confident in that? No, that's just my bold one that I thought,
your heart's on the line.
Yeah, and then because I'm up right now, my two honorable mentions that I think were more likely, I put Spider-Man's going to be written out of the MCU in his movie just because I do think Feige gets a little annoyed when he watches the Morbius trailer and he sees like Michael Keaton popping up. I think he's like, I don't want that. So I do think they will write him out until they ever own him. And then I've said this one before, so that's why I didn't go with it. But I think Loki will find his way back into the main MCU. The only thing is it's tough because the reason also I didn't make it as a 5 is because I feel like they're already kind of doing that storyline with Gamora where it's like she's back and it's a different version. So that's why I was like, maybe it is too samey, so that's why I didn't predict it. But I think there's a chance he finds his way
Maybe
back.
new Gamora and new Loki could hook up.
Oh, poor
Make some green dark elf children. or
poor
something.
Star-Lord.
Dark elves.
So yeah, those were my honorable mentions.
I'll show it a couple. This one, I didn't really have much of a theory behind it, but I was just thinking that Ant-Man's going to appear in Hawkeye. Not sure. I just think,
Yeah.
the dads could be chilling.
Yeah.
They had some good synergy in Endgame.
Dad life.
What else is Ant-Man doing in this phase? Not a lot. I think you want to put Paul Rudd in a trailer or something. Shout out
That's
to I Love
true.
You Man, movie of the week.
It's true. He's nowhere.
Slap at the base.
He should. Yeah, that would have been a good prediction of him just appearing anywhere in this phase. To be
Yeah, but
honest.
that's too easy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
come
know.
on.
But like,
I don't know why I was
has
thinking
to.
Hawkeye. I just think you want maybe a little bit more selling point on Hawkeye. We don't know much about that show at this point, so it's like, who
Some
knows?
arrow ant
I don't
combo.
think you're wrong about that. Yeah, it's Earthbound. Yeah, that
I don't
could
think
be
I'm
a
wrong
place.
either.
Yeah. It'd either be that or Falcon because Falcon had that tie to Ant-Man. So I'd feel like those are the only two places you'd see Paul Rudd.
Right.
You're not gonna see him in Eternals. You're not gonna see him in Thor.
Probably not.
You're not gonna see him in
It's
Thor.
Galactus. Oh, it's just giant man.
Yeah.
I had a couple other ones. This one is like very convoluted, but there's some rumors. I'm sure we'll talk about in news that Emily Blunt is being like rumored cast in like Doctor Strange or something, and it's as like some Doctor Strange character. But I was thinking, what if she's cast in Doctor Strange, but it's actually Sue Storm, and then that's like the start of the Fantastic Four. But that one is more just like a joke than it. And then this one's like a Phase 5 thing, but I was thinking that Deadpool is going to appear in Spider-Man first. And he's going to specifically make a joke about Parker needing a father figure.
Oh,
so that's how
yes.
far I went with that prediction.
Wow, that's a specific one.
And then my last one was that WandaVision is going to tease the existence of the X-Men.
oh yeah.
So kind of the opposite of what Travis is saying.
yeah.
didn't end up. That was probably my 6th. Like if I had to pick one more, I probably would have justified that one. But those are mine.
Sir.
Alrighty. Couple of my honorable mentions. This is the one I was gonna throw, but it's just too far down the line. I couldn't bring myself to do it. Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Ant-Man, Captain Marvel, and Eternals will all have at least 3 movies.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So-
Say that one more time.
Black Panther will have 3 movies.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange will have 3 movies. Ant-Man will get a 3rd movie. Captain Marvel will get a 3rd movie, and Eternals will get 3 movies.
Okay, so the bold thing there is Eternals.
Eternals
the rest of them
for
are all
sure.
like, yeah,
I'm
that's
banking
true.
that Eternals is going to be really big. I feel like it's going to be like a big like Avengers
You
thing.
got some names. good names in there.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, that's just way down the line, but I
Eternals
want to bring it
3.
up.
So not Shang-Chi though. Are you less confident?
I'm very less confident in
Okay, no,
Shang-Chi.
I was
I
wondering
feel
if it was
like
that you forgot it or if it was really like.
I
Yeah, less
feel like
confident.
he might be one of those characters, like Hulk, that just gets thrown in like with other movies. He doesn't like. I don't know. Maybe
But
that's just me
different
being
because it's
prejudiced
due
because I
to-
have no
it's
idea
due
who
to-
that character
well,
is.
due to distribution rights for Hulk is the reason.
Oh, okay.
Possibly. I mean,
Yeah,
who knows
yeah,
if they
okay.
would
it
do
is,
a
yeah.
Hulk movie if they could, but
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just a lot less.
what
confident
year
in
does
Shang-Chi.
Eternals 3 come out in?
2027.
Oh,
Good year.
That sounds like a
That's not
freaking
that far away.
sci-fi name. I forgot that we're in 2020, honestly.
We usually do sequels every 3 years.
Cyberpunk
so
2077.
You'd be about a year off because if Eternals got a sequel, it'll probably be in 2023, and then the 3rd one will be in 2026. So maybe there's a delay.
There
I
you
guess,
go.
yeah. So you might not.
Eternals
be
3
wrong.
will be like the Galactus movie.
The Galactus.
call it that.
Um,
The one
yeah.
with Galactus.
Let's see my other ones. Oh, okay. This one is on the origins of Fantastic Four. I think that the snap will have an effect on like giving them powers or something,
okay.
like a big explosion. Kind of. I'm just thinking of like I guess the first Fantastic Four movie when like that big solar whatever hit them and just gave them powers. I feel like the snap will be something similar. Kind of like how, especially like the Infinity Stones are so linked to like a lot of characters. Like Scarlet Witch got her powers from
Right.
the
Dark Elves.
the Dark Elves.
The Dark Elves.
Yeah,
The
the
Easter.
Dark Elves, and then I don't know. I just think like when they destroy the stones, even like that big energy wave goes out
Yeah.
and somehow
It's the
only
balance of
gives those
everything.
4 people powers. That's my other one. Let's see. Ooh, I think Captain Marvel is gonna appear in Guardians 3. Again, that's
Sure.
way down the line, but I don't know. I just feel like in space
I feel like
should
Thor's
belong
going
there.
to be in Guardians 3.
That you could make that prediction. That'd be too easy though.
Yeah. It was one of my predictions.
Let's see. I was one more I was gonna throw out. I think Silver Surfer's gonna get a standalone movie, and it's gonna be pretty much like an origin to Galactus.
Wow.
Ooh,
Yeah.
That's cool.
I just really want a Silver Surfer standalone.
Yeah. Apparently.
Just hitting
That's
those
it.
waves.
That's all my honorable
Taylor,
mentions.
do you
There's a
have
couple
any?
other ones, but maybe I'll save it for when we're predicting phase
Phase
5 or
7.
6.
One of my honorable mentions was Venom, Tom Hardy's Venom popping into the MCU. I think there's so much more to this conspiracy. I think Sony was not gonna let this go without getting a good favor.
First of all,
in
it's not a
there.
conspiracy. It would be a deal. Like,
Yeah, but they're keeping it
It's a
secret. They're
conspiracy at
keeping
this
it
point.
all under wraps, because it's the whole like
It's
conspiracy
a business
bargain.
transaction.
That's funny
Oh,
because
yeah.
another thing I was thinking is in that Deadpool movie that will, oh my gosh, evidently make an appearance in this MCU. I think that there's gonna be like a Venom like just fan service thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was honorable mention. I think that could definitely happen, but I wouldn't feel like confident enough. I valued like the Iron Fist cameo over Venom popping in.
unfortunately, I think Venom is more likely than
Really?
Fuck
Venom.
you. Yeah.
My other prediction is honorable mention. I think that we will see Otto Octavius in the MCU.
So not even. Well, it'd have to be Spider-Man 3.
I'd assume it'd probably be like related
I'm
in
hoping
that
for
sense,
Olivia
but like
Octavia.
Olivia.
Yeah.
I feel like that at this point, like Feige's just like sharing the load. Villains that belong to Spider-Man are now in like Doctor Strange, and like Iron Man villains are now in like
Feige's all about the
Spider-Man.
load.
No, I think you're wrong though. I think
Really?
they do MCU origins for those Spider-Man villains, but where are these Spider-Man villains in the other MCU movies that aren't the Sony Spider-Man?
You mean like where? Sorry, I'm confused.
Because you're saying like, oh, you got Spider-Man villains in like Doctor Strange.
Well, that was just an example of like them just
Okay.
like
False example.
cross polluting,
Cross-polluting.
villains in different areas.
Biodiversity.
Yeah, I don't think they're allowed to use villains in their MCU movies. I think they'd have to make a whole nother deal for that.
Well, how'd they use Mysterio and Vulture? Because how does that work? Didn't
But I
Sony
mean-
have them and they used
No,
them
but
in MCU
because
movie?
technically Spider-Man is still a Sony movie, right? It's produced by Sony, so that's why. There's no Mysterio or Vulture in any other non-Spider-Man movies, right? Tony Stark's never
Venom.
met the fucking Vulture,
Morbius.
but Vulture hates him.
Well, I guess it's one of those things where you shake my hand, you can shake it again for Sony. And
I don't know where that was
You
going.
can shake it again.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
fuck does
Yeah,
that
I'm not
mean?
saying you're wrong there. I just mean that they'd have to make another deal
that
on top
bothering
of that. So Oh, boy.
My other last honorable
bonkers.
mention is oh shit, what was it?
Did you have all these in your head?
Yeah.
You're a fucking legend.
It was written on his Tim Hortons bag.
It's hard to say like whether or not it'll be really like MCU because now with like the whole like bridge being like the gap being like bridged up now between Sony and MCU, I feel like we could see Tobey Maguire's like Spider-Man
I
like
almost
somehow
predicted
in the
it, yeah.
MCU with
That's a
Andrew
hype pick for
Garfield
sure.
That would've
I'm
been
and
hype.
surprised
Miles
you didn't.
Morales.
I'm surprised you didn't.
Only thing is I think Spider-Verse is going to beat them to it, unfortunately, for the MCU.
Mhm.
I think they got Feige's trump card there because that's coming out, I think 2022, and I think,
You
It's
say
so far
Spider-Verse
away.
is?
yeah. What?
Sorry, what did you say? 2020?
2020. That's a lot.
Just dropping
2022 is Spider-Verse
Oh, okay.
2.
Nice,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
hyped.
coming out like a month after Black Panther.
Cool. I didn't know that was announced. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. So,
It's in the works.
News to
Yeah.
me.
You think we'll have the whole like quadruple team?
Like
Of
the
what?
same, like
Like,
Penny Parker and
Tom
Nick
Holland, Miles
Cage.
Morales,
Oh,
Andrew
that's who
Garfield,
Gwen's
and
gonna
Tobey
be-
Maguire.
Oh, yeah, that's
Andrew's
right.
the tough one to get back, to be honest, because I think he got pretty bitter at the films because they went through a lot of stuff, and
They'd have to pay a lot for it, and that movie didn't. I don't know.
yeah,
sold well enough.
and
but
they did just ditch him, right, to like get Tom Holland, which I think was a smart move, but still they did just ditch his franchise. There was a third one being made, like, no, we're gonna just reboot this. So
It's like the Jared
It's just
Leto
business.
sequence for
Oh,
Joker.
it is. I think
go.
Toby's more likely than Andrew. I don't think you'd see Andrew for a little bit, but I hope so one day. I hope we
I'd
get
be
there.
okay to have even just Toby come back. You know.
Well, I
they should have all the Aunt Mays just hanging out. Like,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
like baking
the
them all up or
Mayverse.
something.
They're
The
all baking.
Mayverse. Oh God. Travis, you got a few?
No, I gave mine with
you?
the Spider-Man being
two.
written off
Just those
and
ones?
Loki coming
You had
back
two
to the main
honorables.
MC. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was tough because I had a few, but those are the ones.
You don't want to over predict, right?
No, exactly. Then
I don't want to give away your future predictions like me.
Exactly.
Apparently, Phase 4 is all
2027.
Phase 5 and 6.
I
for
can't
me.
wait for 2027.
Oh, yeah.
This is what I'm looking forward to now.
Eternals 3, Galactus
My
on
prediction
the
is
way.
that I Love You Man is a prequel to the MCU.
3 I Love You Man movies. You get 2 more.
Who's
Yo.
Jason Segel playing in the MCU?
Probably Doctor
Oh.
Doom.
Wow.
I think Ronan's child.
Ronan's child.
Ronan's
That's very
child.
specific.
Yeah.
How about you?
Ooh, I don't know. I mean, Ronan's Child is pretty good. I mean,
You convinced him.
Ronan's child.
if I had to
Yeah,
think
Ronan's
of
coming
Jason
back.
Segel, like, is he on the case here?
Yes. What does that have to do with your
I
decision?
just need to
though?
see him. So
I just need him in my
You're trying to
Look, he's
picture-
fighting the Hulk in the back too. Lou Ferrigno he gets choked up by the Hulk.
Shout out to
Lou
Rashida
Ferrigno.
Jones. They should put her in the MCU. She's great.
Yeah, maybe
Shout out
one
to
day.
Parks and Rec and The Office.
I'm gonna go for the meme pick and just say Thane. He's gonna be Thane.
He's gonna be
Thane.
Thane.
Yeah.
So he's going to be blue.
Yeah.
One way or the
Yeah.
It's
other.
gonna be blue. Shit, I don't know many blue characters in the MCU.
You don't have, he doesn't have
There's
to be
so
blue.
many blue characters. There's fucking
It'll
Nebula.
be
There's the
Yondu's son.
yeah Yondu.
Yondu's son.
More another son
Ronan.
role.
So we're all just saying he's
Why
the
is it
son
always
of
gotta be
somebody.
someone's son?
It's going to be
Yeah.
Ronan's son, and
Yeah,
then you'll
it's-
find out that he's actually... Jeez, I forgot
I'll
his
change it.
name.
Okay.
Ronan
Come on.
Skywalker. Are we done with this topic?
Spicy.
Yeah.
That's
All
fine.
right, let's
That's
talk
fine.
about some news here.
I saw a 10 on the thing. I was like, "It's how did we get to 10 o'clock already?" But I think
Yeah.
it's 10 p.m. We don't know.
Time
Anyway.
moves fast.
10 p.m.
Maybe I didn't
10
have
p.m.
it
somewhere.
down.
Hopefully.
So yeah, we had some
Small
Doctor Strange news like we were talking about. We can just talk about that now. They obviously we talked about a few weeks ago when they lost their director. There's rumors that Emily Blunt is going to be there as the love interest / sorceress as Clea. Mordo is coming back, which I thought should have been a given. So the fact that it's getting
they
announced
clearly
now
teased that.
is kind of like I think what Dylan's talking about. There's some stuff going on in that movie because I just feel like they set him up. But then also there's this rumor going around that he might be traveling multiverses, but then we might get different actors playing different MCU characters. What do you think about that collection of Doctor Strange news? And do you have any like random pick of like character played by new actor going on? in
I mean,
your
that's a
head?
fun like I don't know,
Concept.
thing to think about.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's actually gonna happen.
You don't think so? I think this is a
No.
false rumor.
This movie has got so much stuff in it already. They just keep jamming more in, and eventually, you got to poop out a movie. And I think if you put too much in, then it's just going to be a mess. So, I like that idea. I think that'd be fun, but I don't think they're going to do that.
Sorry, the rumor was that Emily Blunt or the Mordo returning?
No,
All of it.
All of it?
the rumor of all of that. The rumor she had a meeting while she was filming Jungle Cruise, and then there was the rumor Mordo. I don't think that's a rumor. I think he's gonna come back.
Yeah.
And the rumor of them doing different multiverses and different characters. So they might go to a multiverse, and Iron Man's there, but he's played by someone else. He's played by Will Smith. That actually be.
I don't have
fucking
Emily
hype.
Blunt
By
on my
Hugh
draft
Jackman.
anymore, do I?
What
Do you have the drafts picked somewhere?
for like the superhero drafts this year?
Yeah, I don't think I have Emily Blunt on my list anymore.
First of all, shout out to Alex Proximus. Greetings from Germany. So I don't know what time it is in
Shout out to
Germany.
Germany.
What's his name?
Alex Proximus.
What's up, Alex?
And
Oh,
then
yeah.
Wobbly
It's a
Boots
sick
Nathan
name.
from Super Civil said, "Do you think we'll eventually get a meeting between Scott Summers and the Starjammers?" Yeah, I think so. They're like Starjammers are like this weird space group that like, of course, it's very Star-Lord-ish, where his dad went missing and became like a space like pirate, and they meet up at some point.
shit.
So yeah, people forget that the X-Men go to space like a lot. Like Dark Phoenix, we kind of
Right.
saw that, but like it's supposed to be a whole movie in space. But yeah, let me
Cool.
pull up
What's
the
up, Nathan? How you doing?
yeah. Think about tell me about the rumors. I'll pull up the draft.
Yeah, I'm just gonna flip a coin and say, yeah, Emily Blunt will
Flip a
be
coin
in
to
it.
your Witcher.
Mm-hmm.
Flip a coin to a Witcher. I feel like that's a good pairing. Again, she's not getting any younger.
Oh.
So
You like throwing that out
Yeah,
there. eh?
you say it in a very malicious way.
I gotta keep it. I gotta keep it real. I don't know. I feel like she'd be a good pairing for MCU, and
She's a good
I'm
action
all
star,
for
you
it.
know?
She is a good
Mhm.
action star.
She was in the running. Apparently, it was her and Brie Larson, also Rebecca Ferguson, were like the three talked about for Captain Marvel. So,
Oh,
but I think
man.
Emily Blunt got pregnant and she stepped away from auditioning. So,
Damn,
yeah.
parent life.
I
Yeah.
should give it to Rebecca Ferguson.
And then the
She's
Mordo return. I don't know. I feel like that's pretty given for how the last movie ended, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
Do you
feel
think
like
he'll be like the big bad though?
I
or
feel
just
like
a side boy?
he's gonna
Can't be the
be
big bad,
bringing
right?
like Nightmare into the equation.
Right, he'll be
Yeah.
doing some like dark
Yeah.
wizardry.
Oh yeah.
He'll bring the bait.
He's gonna be
beast of
doing
the
that,
world.
and then he's gonna be like, "Oh no, what have I done?" And then
No, one of those.
Yeah, one of
again,
those.
Yeah.
And then he'll like sacrifice
Redeemed.
himself. Jeez, we're still in our Phase 4 predictions here. I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I don't know. Mordo, like, I honestly have some weird, bad feeling that they're gonna do him dirty, and he's like gonna just be on the side or get killed off.
Oh,
really,
yeah.
like I just
He's gonna
feel.
he's gonna get slingshotted or grip hook.
Well, just Slipknot.
hooked.
Check out our commentary track. I just think the fact that it's just now, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Mordo is coming back." It's like I thought he'd be the main one. And yeah, we've heard rumors about Nightmare. We've heard, and you got Scarlet Witch. So that's why maybe he's just on the side, and maybe they're setting up for him to be the main guy in 3. I'm fine with that, but I just don't want them to do him dirty because I feel like in Strange 1 he got enough showcase, which I just watched again, which I like more than I give it credit. But I feel like he
Let's go, Doctor
still
Strange.
is like on the side quite a bit, and it's just like he's dropped very quickly for.
Well, there's so
Caecilius.
much going on in that movie, right?
And again,
You
this
got
one,
2 like bigger villains.
yeah, and again, this one there's so much going on, so I think he might be on the sidelines again.
So maybe I'm just like forgetting, and I don't remember like where this character's from. But what is a Mordor?
Mordo,
Isn't that like Lord of the Rings?
Mordor.
or Mordo? I guess Mordo. I always call Mordo.
I'll bring up a picture.
There's
You'll know.
there's
Yeah.
there's the ancient one. There's Doctor Strange. There's Wong, and there's the 4th guy who's kind of there at the compound. He's the guy's like, here's the internet password. It's fucking Shambhala. You know, remember that guy? The guy who like introduces him to the
trains
place.
Oh, the
and,
trainer.
and the end
yeah.
credit scene, he's like he takes his like
I
spirit
totally
away.
forgot about
Yeah,
this
yeah.
guy.
He just turns really bad really quickly. He's
Yeah.
just
Oh,
going-
they're totally
He's
doing
got the
him
green
dirty.
robes.
He's fucked.
Oh
I'm
wow!
just saying it here.
He was
ladies
an
and
end
gentlemen.
credit scene though.
Thank you.
I know.
I think he's
one of my favorite movies in this
he's gonna probably pop in there and be way too over the top evil, and it's not gonna have any proper like backing as to why, because him turning evil in the first place was so unjustified in my opinion. So
Mhm.
I feel like it's gonna be over the top, and he's gonna be just killing people left, right, and center, and stealing their chakras and
Stealing their
Chi.
lunch money.
their chi, stealing their lunch money. He's going full on evil in this, you
Mm.
know.
What do you think about actors playing other MCU characters? We'll go back to Kirk, and then I have those drafts.
I think I like the idea because it makes sense. Like people like myself could counter and be like, "Oh, but we already saw Chris Evans as past Captain America." But then it's true,
Which
because
he
it's
did
like,
in the group
I
chat
did.
yesterday. So that's
but
why
then
he
I
says-
said, although that is a past and an alternate
"No,
timeline.
I told you that."
In the
Don't-
same sentence, I said, although and then you said your response right after. Check the group chat, ladies and gentlemen.
I think I think it was broken up, and I think I got in there first. So
I don't know. Oh, he's
I
checking
thought
the
you guys were talking about
facts.
Fast and Furious, so I was like, I don't want to read this stuff, and then I tuned out the chat for a
He's
bit.
pulling the facts. I
See,
love
the
when
thing
Travis
is,
does
the
this.
thing is for me is I feel like that's what the point of What If is. So you can do those fun
Yeah.
things, and I feel like
True.
if they just throw all their cards on the floor for like a cheap scene, like why waste time doing that when you could just I don't know, you could make a
Well,
full
you
What If
lose like a
episode.
good actor too. Like, let's say if you throw in Tom Cruise to play like Tony Stark in an alternate universe, then you lose Tom Cruise as playing a hero in another
Yeah.
role.
There's a lot of
So-
actors
That's
in this
true.
world though.
Taylor was.
They're expendable. We can afford a few.
Jack Black hasn't even appeared.
Eventually, we'll get one of those
Look at
MCU
Jack Black
movies.
as Iron Man. You know?
Oh,
Yeah.
there we go.
I don't like this idea anymore. Taylor actually was right. He did do the Allo first, so there
Taylor,
you go.
Wait,
So
what'd you
told
do?
you so.
he did say first that like, oh, it's a different timeline and whatnot as far as the actors, because he said like, oh, if you just go back, we've seen that before, but if that's going back in our timeline, this is going to a different universe.
Yeah.
So the only reason why I think it could be at play is because people have speculated that Scarlet Witch could do a reverse House of M. What happened was she like got rid of all the mutants. This one people say she put in the mutants, but then also all the heroes had these different lifestyles. So like the biggest one is Spider-Man. That's why I was saying maybe he's in this. Spider-Man became like a movie star and he was very famous and whatnot. So that's why I could see them doing all these different things. And that would be great. Imagine if you had a 10-minute segment of a famous Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
They got to redo the scene where he goes out the theater. And
100%. But yeah, I just don't know if it could happen, but I just don't know if it's. I don't know if it's needed. It's fun. I'm not going to say it shouldn't happen, but Kirkland, what do you think? I think I'm maybe in Dylan's camp that if we get it, we'll get like only one where it's like, hey, we want to do something fun with like an Iron Man like character, but we don't want to bring Downey back so quick. I think we'll get one, but not like a bunch of characters. I don't think we'll go into a different Avengers and it's
like
like
I feel like he doesn't even have like Doctor Strange that is doesn't even have that many strong connections with other characters. Like if you were to do it, I think it'd be fun if you had some connection with like a character he's friends with, where they're just a completely different person. But I feel like he doesn't even have that many close connections yet.
Yeah,
because he's pretty much just being a calm, chill dude in Infinity War. Right?
There's a risk it's too much Easter eggs over substance, right?
Yeah.
And that's what they don't want to do. Yeah.
No, for sure. Were you saying like if they're having one, would it be like one like superhero that we see is like casted a different character, or you're saying one like returning?
It'd
like,
be
say it's
Iron Man
Downey's
played
coming
by
back.
different actor.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not someone we've seen before.
No, well, not
Yeah.
that I don't. Unless maybe that's what they do. They Chris
I
Evans
know.
playing Iron Man.
Well, I was just thinking in my mind. I'm like, what if he goes to like a world where Downey is Captain America or something? But I feel like they wouldn't want to just pay Downey for that, and I feel like Downey wouldn't want to make his return in like a Doctor Strange like cameo
what if
like
Doctor
that.
Strange? Like, what if Benedict Cumberbatch was playing Iron Man?
Oh, that
himself in, like,
see
an
that'd
Iron
be
Man
fun
suit.
because then you wouldn't have to worry about casting another person, and then
yeah, yeah.
I don't know,
Or Rachel McAdams
especially
as Doctor
since
Strange.
like in the past he's had some like confrontations with Iron Man. It'd be funny to just see him as like an arrogant asshole. I don't know.
Maybe that's who Emily Blunt's playing as a female Iron Man. That'd be hype.
That would be hype
Let's do
actually.
it.
Alex from Germany asked if you guys really believe Tony Stark's dead. I think he's dead, but I think he'll be back in the next 10
Yeah.
years. You know, Doolittle, not so
Doolittle
hot.
trilogy.
No one's ever
after
really
that,
gone.
No one's ever
No
really
one's ever
gone.
really
Yeah,
gone.
I think they'll all be back at some point, other than
That's where right now he
Quicksilver.
definitely died.
Quicksilver and,
Other than
and
Quicksilver.
Terrence Howard as Don Cheadle. That'd be fun if you could go into a different universe and see Terrence Howard playing Rhodey again. I don't think they want to do that, but or Edward Norton as well. That's what I'd be down for.
Oh,
is somehow working
that'd be
those guys
cool.
in, but they're both ended
Edward
up.
Norton's like $2 billion. Come on, up front. Leave it under my door.
What did you want for the draft to see who you had, Dylan?
What's that?
You on the superhero?
I don't
draft
have
again?
Emily Blunt anymore, right?
No, you took John Krasinski instead. You took the
I
husband.
have him on my pick.
Yeah,
list?
you got John Krasinski, Amelia Clark, Mac Davis, Mackenzie Davis, Ken Watanabe, and Lily Collins. That's what
Yeah.
Dylan's rocking right now.
Fucking clean.
I guess it's a good time to remind everybody. Kirkland's rocking Keanu, Kit Harington, who has 1 point, Rebecca Ferguson, Simon Pegg, and who the fuck? Why did I put Ronan? Who the fuck is Ronan?
CRC?
Yeah,
Oh,
Saoirse
yeah.
Ronan. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Ronan.
the actor, or the
Ronan's
character. Taylor, you got Naomi Scott, Samara, or Hugo. It was Hugo.
Any
Weaving,
old
I think?
Weaving will do. No, Samara.
No, it was
Weaving.
Samara
Must have
Weaving.
been
Yeah, you saw
Samara.
Ready or Not, right? Yeah.
Because we were like, who
Hugo
the hell is
Weaving.
that?
Mark Hamill, Justice Smith, and The Rock. But The
Justice fucking
Justice
Smith.
Smith.
Get
let's
out of
go.
here. That's-
Yes.
and The Rock, but that was a additional to Black Adam because he's already. So he has a movie coming out like in 2 years, Black Adam. So he's so busy in that. That's not happening. He's filming that.
But he's gonna be.
He'll be Iron
in the
Man.
MCU. Look at James Gunn. He's doing Suicide Squad, then Guardians 3. He'll do it.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, but that
this
was
year.
a different situation. Okay.
And then I'm rocking John Cena. Thanks for the Suicide Squad points. Vanessa Kirby, Jessup Plemons, Sarah Paulson, and Ryan Gosling. Yeah, Jesse Plemons. Hey,
100-year-old man.
I don't. I don't think it's almost over yet. You know, Jesse Plemons will pop up at some point.
It'll be a cop
Are we
in the
also happy
MCU.
with our lists? I'm pretty happy with my list.
I'm happy. I love mine.
Yeah, I'm ready for July. I got some new heavy hitters.
Oh, I got some heavy hitters.
I don't think Saoirse Ronan is gonna make an appearance. I feel like she's more into those
Doing Lady Bird
Oscar
too.
type movies.
She's on that Oscar hunt right
exactly.
now. She'll do the Brie
Didn't
Larson.
she win an Oscar?
No, she's been nominated I think
Who'd
3
she
times.
lose Lady Bird to?
What'd you say?
Didn't she? What was that movie called?
Lady Bird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you said who did she go in labor to? I was like, I don't know what that means. Yeah, Lady Bird, and this year she got nominated for Little
No,
Women.
who in that year beat her?
Olivia Colman for The Favor, who played the Queen.
Right.
Queen, not the Queen. I should say the
Queen.
Yeah. I think she's gonna be the new Michelle Williams, who loses a lot, and Amy Adams. So, because she's always good, but she's always like everyone's like fifth slot, where it's like, oh yeah, I really like Saoirse Ronan, but then it's like, oh, then
Do I like her that much?
Yeah.
I feel like all the movies she's in are like those Oscar hype movies.
Oh yeah, she wants it.
Yeah.
Next year she has one too. She's playing a lesbian lovers with Kate Winslet.
Yeah, so not MCU,
Let's
I
go.
don't think.
Kate Winslet 2020. That's what I want to see.
Yeah. In as president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Let's
I don't wanna go
see. Moving on from that, quickly, Captain Marvel 2 lost its directors, and it also was confirmed that it's going to be in the present day. And the writer of this is the same person that's writing WandaVision.
So the director was probably the same person as the first movie, right?
Yeah, it was the two. It was
What's her
two.
name?
It was a combo. I don't have their name. I think it's like I know their last name is like Beck and Floyd or something like that. But
Beck and Floyd.
I'll find out for sure. I don't think that's true, but it was a female-male combo. But they're not coming back. And then it's in present day, which I'm happy with because I for a while thought it was gonna be a prequel, especially Feige after Captain Marvel was like, yeah, there's so many stories in her past, and I was like, but I still think we might get some flashbacks to what was going on.
Yeah,
so.
I was thinking it was gonna be like a prequel because I don't know, I just thought that she would have a fight with Ronan at one point because
they kind of set that up
because they set that up and that didn't happen. But I'm definitely happy it's not a prequel. I don't know. I feel like prequels just they got a little asterisk next to their name in the Geek First podcast here.
Oh
So it's the Eternals.
Yeah. The two directors for Captain Marvel were Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck.
Boden and Fleck. So it wasn't Beck and Fleck.
Boden and Fleck.
Beck and Fleck. I should have
Beck
known
and
right there. Yeah. Beck and Fleck. Boden.
Sounds
and
like
Fleck.
a seller of like high quality knives.
And it does make sense because I really like Captain Marvel. I
Medium
still
quality.
do, but it was actually one of their lower reviewed. I think it's next. I think it's Thor: Dark World, and then I think it's Captain Marvel as far as critically reviewed.
Holy
so.
shit!
Yeah.
That's
so
not where you want to be. You don't want to be brushing edges with
Nope.
the Dark World.
So it makes sense there. So
Wow.
Taylor, you love Captain Marvel.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think that I don't know, just they're dropping directors. I feel like, this is like started with like Doctor Strange. So I feel like he's just like left. He's like, fuck you, Disney. And he's going around like, come on, directors, let's go do our own multiverse kind of thing. Let's
I
get
don't
out of
think that's how it
here.
happens.
Let's get out of here.
I'm
That New York
walking
accent.
here.
I'm down. I'm down for some fresh eyes on it. I like the first movie enough, but I don't know. I think I'm down for something a bit different.
Yeah.
I hope they get another woman as director or women.
They're
if
looking
they wanna do
for
a team thing.
they're looking for
Yeah.
a female.
Who directed Wonder Woman?
Patty Jenkins. She ain't jumping over though because
Oh.
she had
She's
a
doing
big
number 2. Wonder
Yeah,
Woman.
yeah, and she had a big falling out. She was supposed to direct Thor: Dark World. Natalie Portman brought her. Yeah. Natalie
That's the
Portman.
world we want to live in.
Natalie
Give me that
Portman
Dark World.
brought her on, and then Marvel got rid of her, and that's why Portman and Marvel had to break up too, because they're like, oh yeah, like we'll go with her, and they kind of like lied to her. And I think the rumors Portman I think found out throughout like the news that Patty Jenkins was done, so they didn't
Never
even
good.
tell her. So
That's
It's
sad.
like
You
how
hate
we
to
found
see
out
it.
we lost our jobs at Target before.
Yeah.
They told us.
Yeah, my sister's like, did you know you don't have a job? I was like,
My dad told me. I was like, what?
I remember getting linked in so many things. Like, Travis, have you seen this? Like, oh, I have now. And just, I remember walking to that morning meeting, just being like, what a sham this place
That's how Natalie
is.
Portman.
And Taylor, any thoughts on it being present day? You
You
happy? You're a prequel guy. You love prequels.
I do love a good prequel. I mean, there's so many memes that come out of it. So I think
hey, what the fuck?
Really? Is there a huge Rise of the Planet of the Apes prequel groups out there somewhere?
Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, is that a prequel or is it just one
That
cohesive
trilogy
story?
is.
Rise of the Planet of the
That
Memes.
entire trilogy is because
Well, I don't look at it.
movie.
Well, before the first movie.
Well, yeah.
With Mark Wahlberg.
Well, no, that one's not really included in this trilogy,
canon.
though. But no, I think that trilogy is just its own trilogy. I mean, if you look at like prequels, I mean, look at all the great prequel movies we got for the MCU. There's so many good ones.
Is there?
Oh yeah, there's
the
lots of
MCU?
Steve
MCU.
Rogers ones and lots of Iron Man ones, you know,
Is
and
there?
I'd say
Name
so.
some.
You know, I just Revenge of the Sith memes just keep popping in my head.
Well, that's not what you're talking about. That's
That
not-
was a checkmate
Say what you
move
need
from
about present
Dylan.
day, and then we'll move on.
He's seeing 2 moves ahead.
Present day, I think that's the right step to do with Captain Marvel. I think as cool as it was to see her kind of like origin in the past and everything like that, I don't think there's any like proper juice there to like really like keep going on. I think we want to go to we want to go to present day. We want to have Jude Law pop back in here.
he's coming.
No.
Yeah.
He's
God.
coming.
No,
I'm sorry,
he's
Dylan,
for sure.
coming
Such a
back.
lame.
No, he's
villain.
for sure gonna be there. I feel like it's gonna be like continuing with like the Kree Skrull like war.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
'Cause I think that's why I think there'll be flashbacks to the past. It's like what's been happening this whole time. That's where Jude Law will be back, and they'll be like, he won't be in the flashbacks. Be like, it's been decades since I've seen you, and maybe he's good now. And yeah, I agree. He's not a great character, but I bet he's coming back. Who's a great character is Obi Wan, but his show got delayed.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
His show is apparently delayed, but it's not. It's this weird thing where they're saying it's not delayed as far as like actually coming out. I don't know. It seems like what we talked about with the directors in Marvel and now this. It seems like Disney right now is in like a big like phase, like switching stuff up. Like they got. I think that's a Disney Plus thing. There's rumors now that it's dropping from 6 episodes to 4, and if it's Mandalorian style.
you all right?
I just don't know why this isn't a movie anymore, and I get why, because Solo bombed, because that was the route they were going. They're going to do an Obi-Wan movie, and then this. And then the other rumor is they're rewriting it because, one, Kathleen Kennedy wasn't a fan of the scripts. Taylor, don't get salty, because she wasn't a fan of the Rogue One scripts, and then she changed that, so that's your favorite movie, so calm down. And then, two, there was rumors that it was really similar to The Mandalorian because it was Obi-Wan protecting a young Luke Skywalker, which makes sense because Mandalorian's protecting a young Yoda. So I'm for the delay as long as it leads to good stuff. I hope it doesn't lead to any cancellation. I just want the show to happen. So I hope it's good, but I can say I'm a little worried because just apparently nothing in Star Wars can't just... There's no stars that just gets made from point A to point B, and there's no problems. Like it was Last Jedi, but then the reaction to Last Jedi happened. So
Do you think it's... Sorry to cut you off. I was just gonna say, do you think it's because it's just so big of a franchise that like all like the higher ups are like, this has to be perfect?
I think so. I think there's a lot too many, hands in the pot
Yeah,
or whatever. And
that's what I was
I'm
saying.
not like Mr. I hate Kathleen Kennedy, but I do think she kind of has to go. I think you need someone in like a Feige.
With Phil
Feige's
Spencer.
come over. Not some. I wouldn't trust Phil Spencer. More
No, I
now.
was saying with Phil Spencer because he's gonna.
Oh
act
yeah,
in the
the
future.
2020. They need to get rid of Kathleen Kennedy. They need to get rid of Phil Spencer. But at least Kathleen Kennedy has a big track record. So Taylor.
Yeah, I just remember when like the rumors kind of like dropped, and me and Travis was digging and we couldn't find anything.
At
and I was
first,
just
it was that
freaking
the show
out.
was just canceled.
Oof.
That was the initial rumors.
Yeah, I was like in panic mode. This
Those
was
prequel
stupid.
memes pages would have just gone off.
Oh yeah. So it's just one of those things where like if it was canceled, why Disney even like come forward, bring out McGregor on stage and just showcase that it's happening? Like it's just like such a cock tease and it's horrible. So
They're blue balling us.
yeah. So I just think that would just be that's horrendous. But luckily, this show is still in existence. And I found myself going, like, people still thought it was canceled, but the rumors had confirmed that it was just delayed. And then I watched a video of McGregor talking like, no, it's just, people are freaking out and it's nothing serious. It's just the show's been delayed a little bit or whatever.
Never
And-
believe an actor though.
No?
No.
Yeah, I guess that's
Look
true.
at Natalie Portman,
Yeah.
Never believe an
She got
actor.
hoodwinked.
I
They
didn't
don't know what's going on. They just gotta say shit.
I didn't believe like it was canceled when like the rumors came out that it was just delayed and all that. So I was kind of like weekend warrioring it, just going online and just getting behind the keyboard and just
I
telling
feel like
people
every time
like
you use that word, it's like a different definition.
probably.
I agree with
Probably.
you. That's so
Dylan's
funny.
right. Yeah.
You use it in a positive sense as well as a negative sense.
What was this sense? Is this positive?
This is in the middle. Of it.
But yeah, it's just I hate that it's gone from 8 to 6 to 4 now. If it is down to 4, I think
It was never 8. I don't know where you got that from.
No, this is a good thing because eventually you get knocked to 2, and eventually it makes it to 1, and you do a fucking movie.
Yeah.
Yikes! I don't know
I'm
if
down
I'd
for that.
want it to be a movie in this sense. I mean, I would like it because then I could put it on my movie shelf with my steel
yeah.
case.
Yeah.
So,
you put Mandalorian on your shelf.
No, I can't. Well, I'll buy it when it comes out on DVD.
I don't think it's ever come out on DVD.
Oh, I think so. I think Amazon and Netflix
Oh.
puts out their shows on
Are those
DVD
two
bundles.
Disney
Then if you
companies?
buy it on DVD, then you don't have to keep your subscription and watch it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true. But I'm a collector, so I like to have like
There's-
the wall
Well,
of
Disney
Star
doesn't care
Wars.
about you
Yeah.
as a collector.
There's
They care about
rumors-
the money.
There's rumors next
The
few years
money,
Disney's
the
just gonna not even release DVDs anymore, and you have to get Disney Plus to watch stuff they release.
They're gonna
so.
sell Nintendo Switch cartridges.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
the movies
Fuck.
on it.
Well, if that's the
So you
way
can
she
watch on your
goes,
Switch.
it's the way she goes. But yeah,
Don't
I
have
just
Netflix on there. So.
Yeah, exactly.
I am hoping that this show does not get canceled because if I mean at some point it doesn't happen and it does eventually, Kathleen Kennedy says, we're going to cut it, then that's just horrible.
If
and
it
then
gets
I'm with
canceled,
you.
it is a massive blow to Star Wars fans, and I don't know if
Oh,
people can
absolutely.
recover. I don't know if Star Wars could recover eventually, but that would be a gunshot.
right,
the heart.
Oh, yeah.
right now I feel like Hawkeye and Endgame just like
Don't give me hope.
Scarlett Johansson's just there like, you know what? It's not canceled. They've just working on the scripts. And I'm like, don't do that. Don't give me hope.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still in that camp. I wish this was just a movie at this
Yeah.
point. I don't know. 4 episodes. I'm assuming they'll be an hour. So I don't know.
I don't know. Mandalorian.
20-minute,
20 minutes.
20-minute episodes.
With
That's
Toro-
an hour.
with
1
Toro.
hour.
All filler
Yeah.
episodes.
Toro
Toro
can come back.
Tallahan,
Yeah.
Toro.
Toro.
Stuck with me
Forgot
now,
about him.
partner.
I love Toro.
Yeah.
Dylan, any thoughts?
I guess the only thing I'll add is I don't know. I think like Star Wars is in a weird spot right now because obviously this shit's always gonna sell. 'Cause Star Wars is fucking massive, and I don't know what the streaming numbers are for like Mandalorian. I don't know what Disney Plus is.
Apparently,
Right
it's
now.
the biggest show streaming wise.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that doesn't surprise me
Yeah.
for a second. But I think there is an important side to it. Yes, they just want money and they're making money, but at the same time, they do want people to like these things, right?
Yeah.
You look
Mhm.
at Solo; it's kind of like no one really liked this movie. Last Jedi was very divisive, and then. I mean, Rise of Skywalker seems like kind of the same thing where a lot of
Yeah.
people don't like it. It's
Yeah.
kind of a bad movie in some ways. So maybe that's part of like this restructuring is like, okay, we wouldn't like Mandalorian worked. Now that they saw that work, like let's rework some stuff. Let's try to figure out why people like this
Yeah.
and then implement some of that stuff in
Get
Obi-Wan.
Taika directing an episode.
Yeah, there you go.
Disney Plus is important to them, right? Like that's just pure income for them that goes
Mhm.
straight to them. They don't got to distribute it anywhere.
yeah.
So like that is their future. So I could because you're talking about Rise of Skywalker. I gotta share this quick story. There's this guy that appeared on a podcast and he lied and said he was one of the Knights of Ren actors, and he lied and he said spoilers for Rise of Skywalker that the ending was reversed where Rey died. And Kylo went on to become Ben Solo, and he took the name Skywalker. And he's like, "Yeah, I saw this whole version, and everything, and blah blah." He changed his IMDb to all this, like that he worked on the movie. Then 2 days later, it came out that it was fake. So this podcast just got like duped, and it's like a podcast, like not a big
Oh,
note, but it's like
no.
still like relatively
Never
like.
trust an actor, right?
Oh
Never
yeah,
trust an actor.
never trust an actor. But so yeah, he just was on this podcast lying about how he's on set. And he was a Knight
That's
of Ren.
hilarious.
So
That'd be I don't know. I guess you can only do that once, really.
oh yeah, and if he gets caught now, he's fucked. Cause like
He's
imagine
in the
Hollywood.
in-game now.
Yeah, in Hollywood, you're the Knights of Ren liar actor, you know?
Yeah.
So, last movie news I got is Fast and Furious 9. The trailer dropped.
People are freaking out. Can you explain why people are freaking out?
In a good
Justice
way or
for
bad?
Han.
I think for a few reasons.
What did
One,
you just say?
the John Cena element is a twist because he's playing the villain of the movie, which I think is a big mistake. I think the thing with John Cena,
Does
16...
Fast and Furious have like one villain in each of the movies?
Oh yeah.
I've never watched a Fast movie.
What did he
so-
ask?
It has like the movies have like one main villain in each movie, right?
Is that what you asked, Dylan? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I thought you. I thought he was.
Travis is trying to corner you right
He's
now.
trying. He's salty about the
Well,
Facebook comment
I
earlier.
thought he was leaning to like a one big villain, and you just cut him off. But no, there's return. Like Charlize Theron was the villain last movie. She's coming back. Her and John Cena are paired up as a team. The thing about John Cena, the 16-time world champion, is in wrestling, he was not an intimidating character. He was a rapper.
No, because Jinder Mahal was always above him.
Of
like-
course, yeah, he's scary. But like John Cena's not intimidating. So the fact he's playing a villain, he's the worst part in Bumblebee. I think John Cena
Yeah,
is.
I agree with that.
He's really good at comedic stuff. He's reverse Rock. Like Rock's that good way too, but Rock can be a badass. I don't think John Cena can. They're giving him like this like Cuban drug lord. He has like these suits and chains. He has the slick back hair. It's gonna be a mistake, but it's gonna be a glorious mistake. So there's that. He's the villain, and they just said John Cena was in an unknown role, so they didn't tell us that. He's also Vin Diesel's brother. That was what was revealed in the trailer.
Yeah, sure.
So that's a bit, yeah. Thanks.
He's also gonna turn and
Is The
become
Rock in
buddies.
these movies?
He was, but Vin Diesel and him had a falling out, so they split off.
That's like the Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
right?
but apparently they reconciled, so they're gonna probably do like a big Avengers crossover with Hobbs
Get
and Shaw.
Batista in there too. Let's just have a fucking WrestleMania.
Thanos is coming, and then
No,
the fast people have
Batista trashed Fast on Twitter. Someone asked him, would he appear next? And he said, no, I like to make good movies. He said that on Twitter. Yeah.
Oh, Batista.
Batista, no fucks given. And then the third one was there's this character named Han. They killed him off about
Solo?
4 movies. His name is Han Solo. Legit. He's Asian and they spell it in an Asian way, Solo. Yeah.
Did he die in Tokyo Drift?
He died in Tokyo Drift. They had
Tokyo
Jason
Drift was number 2 or 3, right?
3.
Yeah, 3.
I know my
That was my
shit,
favorite movie.
It was technically a prequel, so it's a weird. They have like a weird timeline, but they brought
What
him
is that
back.
song from that trailer that's still burned into my mind. from the early
Statham
2000s.
killed him off, and then they've brought him back now. I think the only reason to do this is they brought him back so they didn't want. Fast
Force
and Furious does not want to have any deep meaning, so they would not want to address, Jason Statham's now on our team, but he killed one of our friends. What does that mean? What are the repercussions of our beings of welcoming this murder? Well, now it's like, oh no, Han's alive, so he didn't murder
He's
anyone.
coming to the
good.
barbecues.
Yeah,
now.
he's fine. I guarantee you,
How was he killed?
car explosion.
So it's like he's dead. Yeah.
Well, it was, but
But you
he.
didn't see him.
Yeah,
we thought
exactly.
Anakin was dead.
Who?
Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Anakin on Mustafar. We thought
It's
he
gonna
was
be
dead.
one of those
Yeah.
things where he was
You're not
dead,
wrong.
and
He was
Statham
crispy.
was like, "Oh, I felt bad, so I brought him back to life."
Show a scene of him pulling the body.
Yeah,
out.
like
It's
I just
got a
heard him.
rebreather.
I just heard him,
Is
and
there
I.
magic in these movies? Like, is people casting
Oh, there's
spells
magic.
And shit?
And Hobbs and Shaw, Idris Elba got some nanotech put into him to be
Oh yeah.
to be like a
Shout out to
superhero.
nanotech.
This movie is just they've completely gone off. The Fast Five was this perfect balance of realism, but then hyper realism. This is like Hobbs and Shaw, which Hobbs and Shaw I like, but it went way too far. Guys, just like the superhero stuff. It's just GTA. It literally is Grand Theft Auto. There's at one point in this trailer where they're driving off a mountain. There's no bridge. So what they do is there is a bridge, like the walkway, like where you'd hold on to it. The car drives into the handle of the bridge, hooks onto it, and swings off.
like a big rope.
I
Swing.
can't even picture what you're trying to describe.
So it's like a wooden
I'm not
bridge.
saying you're describing it
Yeah.
poorly. I'm just saying it's just a while.
It's
I'll
just like
bring
a
it up.
yeah.
I'll bring it up.
And they're swinging to the mountain. Luckily, they cut, so we don't know if they make it. And then the other stunt was John Cena drove off a mountain, and this plane flown by Charlize Theron has magnets on the end of it and caught the car in midair.
Nice.
So it is just Grand Theft Auto. So I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna try and I can check out my Hobbs and Shaw. Check out my Hobbs and Shaw review because I did think it got a little too
Fuck,
dumb.
This is the dumbest.
I think
shot
this
I've
is
ever
gonna
seen
get
in my
really
life.
dumb too, but it's just one of those you laugh
Holy
because it's
shit.
so dumb now.
That's
So
quite the shot.
I agree with people. Maybe it should have ended with Fast 7, and there is still rumors that Paul Walker is around. I'm fine with it if it's a cameo. I'm glad he's not a main character, but this looks batshit crazy, and yeah, it's fucking. They revealed so much in this trailer. It's nuts.
Yeah,
so
it's crazy.
yeah.
This is like the second trailer, wasn't it? Or is
First
this,
trailer,
okay.
3 minutes and 50 seconds. This movie doesn't come out.
fucking long.
This movie
trailers.
doesn't come out till May. Tickets are already on sale. Vin Diesel
horrible.
thinks he's fucking Endgame
When does
over
the
here.
game come out? Is it coming out around?
I'll find out. That game looks awful.
Sure does.
Oh,
Vin
boy.
Diesel's face is how I feel about watching that trailer.
And there's the
You know what I'm
Fast
talking
and
about.
Furious
From the
Oh,
game.
yeah.
And there's the Fast and Furious Netflix series. Have you guys seen that? Scrolling through.
That's the last thing.
Oh,
I'm
is
watching.
that
It's a kids
an
animated series.
right?
It's
Yeah.
Dom Toretto's cousin, and Vin Diesel makes appearances in it. He's a producer. Oh yeah, it's a whole
Isn't
brand.
Vin Diesel like one of the main drivers of, no pun intended, of the Fast
Oh,
series?
he
Oh, yeah.
is like
He's
the
like
main
a-
producer.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
okay.
yeah. He's legitimately the Feige of Fast and
Yeah.
Furious. Yeah.
It's the
Crazy.
Fast Saga now.
He's
is
making
what they
money
call
off it, I'm sure.
There's so
What
many
about Hobbs
movies
and
where it's
Shaw?
like,
Or is
I'll
that
get-
separate?
It's part of the same universe.
Is it?
But
Yep.
he didn't produce it.
Oh, he
That's
didn't?
why they had a falling out because
Okay.
they went kind of behind his
And
back. to
Tyrese
do it.
is all-
They're
Oh,
doing
yeah.
anthology films now.
Sorry, what were you saying, Dylan?
I was just gonna say there's some movies that I'll get to them someday. There's some I do not want to watch any of these movies. I do not care about this
Yeah.
series at all.
I jumped
have
ship
no interest.
after Fast 5.
Yeah.
You're not missing much.
I feel like I watched the movie by watching that 3-second clip that Kirkland just showed.
100%.
I think I got everything I needed out of
The
movie.
game comes out May 2020 as
Nice.
well. So
Pairing it up.
synergy.
Back to early 2000s with this
Yeah.
movie tie-ins to games. That's
That's
so
exactly what it is.
Love it.
That's crazy.
Oh, that's great.
Fast 9, the movie, the game.
Yeah, exactly.
One of those titles.
For me,
Featuring Sonic.
Fast and Furious, like I didn't jump on that bandwagon until like I think the fourth one had come out, like Fast and Furious, I think it was called.
Is that what the fourth was called?
Well,
Just
the
Fast
first
and
one
Furious?
is Fast and Furious, and the fourth one's The Fast, The Furious. The Fast
Well,
and the
yeah,
Furious.
yeah. Well, how's
Yikes.
that go? There's the Fast and the Furious, and then there's Too Fast, Too Furious,
Oh,
then
yeah.
Tokyo Drift, then the Fast Furious. Yeah.
The Fast
so
and the Furious, and then
Fast and Furious.
and then what the
Fast Five.
Fast 5, and then isn't it Furious 6? I think.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, and then it's just Fast and Furious 7.
So-
and then this one's just called F9. They're literally calling it.
Fuck
I
nine.
love
They're
that.
literally calling it F9.
That's so. Wasn't
I-
there 2 Fs? Or I guess Fast Furious. It's reminding
It's
me of
just
like
Fast
Final
9.
Fantasy 27 at this point.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get expansion
10
packs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll pull up the whole
There'll be an
thing.
MMO.
Holy shit.
Yeah, like it's
An MMO.
I kind of got like hooked into the series when I watched like the first like 4, and like Too Fast, Too Furious is one of my favorites.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just love
That's
that
great.
one. It's so
It's
good.
the
I love the
worst
flashy
one.
cars and everything. And when I got to Fast 5, this is when I was working in the movie theater, so I got like my Fast 5 like flat rim hat. I got a Fast 5 mouse pad. Like I'm
Mouse
decked
pad.
out.
my god.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
I'm
so
decked out.
here's your answer. It was Fast 5, Fast and Furious 6, Furious 7, and then the 8 was The Fate of the Furious, and now it's F9. And then there is an untitled 10th movie coming out 2021.
Of course
Oh my
there
God.
is.
so-
An untitled
Shot my
female
fucking head off.
spin-off.
So dumb.
An untitled female spin-off
That
film
series
as
will
well.
not
so.
end.
They've made billions of dollars the
Yeah.
last 2, right? So
That's crazy.
These movies they always do something to like one up themselves. So we've had them like
Oh
my God.
Sorry.
we've had them like fall out of like the back of planes and like their cars, and like dealing with submarines, and they've had some pretty like crazy stunts and all that. But like
they're going to space.
they're gonna go to space. Like
I'm not even joking.
I think it was it Tyrese that dropped a tweet saying they could take on the Avengers? You know, like
yeah, well,
just some
Tyrese is wrong about a lot of
crazy
stuff.
stuff. But these
Like a
movies,
blue.
like
Go watch his Django Unchained audition tape. It's fucking
Django.
crazy.
Oh, no.
I
It's so
I
not good.
couldn't believe that that they just kind of like dropped so much information in this trailer. Like it's just I thought the Hobbs and Shaw trailer was long and it felt like the whole movie, but this felt like again like they're like, oh, and it's Dom's brother, and then they like
I knew it that me and Emily watched it together, and they're like, "Oh, he's from someone's past." Like, it's his brother, 100%.
it's always from someone's past. It's always family fucking around.
live my
and-
life a quarter
and,
mile
like,
at a time.
Yeah, a quarter mile at a time. And in this case, it's like. The trailer kept dropping a bombshell, and then it would sequence into like, oh, there's a whole action sequence, and then
Way
it would
too
be
long.
Like, yeah, it was just way too long. And
Weren't they calling like John Cena's character like a master thief or something
Master
like
thief,
that?
yeah.
Master Thief. He wants to be better than Dom, stronger than Dom. It's
Faster.
like, but never could
Faster,
be.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But that being said, I'll go see this movie because I love
He's
these
got the hair,
movies.
though.
It's so funny.
That's what Dom
yeah,
doesn't
Dom
have.
doesn't have the hair.
Uh,
Kirkland, any thoughts or no?
Not really. This is just really interesting. I don't know.
You don't sound
Is it really
I'm-
interesting?
It's very interesting just to see like what new things they add to these series, and
Yep.
I don't know. Like I said before, I've kind of been out of this series since Fast 5. Not because I really didn't like Fast 5, but it's like I think Fast 6 came out, and I'm like, oh, I'll probably get to that one day. And then Fast 7 was out, and then Fast 8, and then Fast 9. It's just become too fast for me. And, too
you gotta be
furious.
more furious
Let's
with.
see.
Yeah,
watching them.
I'm pretty furious seeing these trailers, so I'll leave it alone.
I think we should do a
F9 this conversation.
Yeah,
we did like the Star Wars commentary tracks. We should do like a Fast and the Furious commentary track.
I don't think so.
Get some big numbers because in the
I'll
billions.
sit out of that one, boys.
Yeah, I'll be in for Tokyo Drift, and that's
Maybe
it.
for the 10th.
D-
Yeah, I'll
one.
do
the
Tokyo
DK.
Drift as well.
The Drift King.
Any other movie TV news?
No.
Go see Parasite. The movie's great.
Mhm.
It's a
Great
negative
movie.
Ghost Rider.
Yeah. Video gaming news. Dylan, do you have some? I have only one item.
I had a couple of small
Yeah.
things, but do you want me to start?
Sure. Yeah. You start. Yeah.
Well, one I thought was a fun fact is that the Nintendo Switch has officially outsold the Xbox One family of consoles.
I saw that. That's a tough pill to swallow. I'd feel.
Not at all. I love my Nintendo Switch.
Nope. For Phil Spencer and the team, I just feel like.
It's got a couple of years on the Switch.
Yeah. I just feel like that's a wake up call and a half. But you know.
but I mean, I guess I'm almost surprised that didn't happen sooner.
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like everyone has a Switch. Look at
Yeah.
everyone here at this table has got a Switch.
Mhm.
How many Xboxes we got?
One.
Get it? Xbox One.
Yeah,
Heyo.
I see what you did there.
Fuck.
Shout out
But
to Jessica.
I
She
thought that
has
was
one.
cool. Shoutouts to the shoutouts to Nintendo Switch. Great console.
And they also announced you might have this that they're not putting out the Pro next year. They
Yeah.
did. They officially came out and said no,
Pro.
like Pro or not next
Right.
year, this year, like a new
But-
version of the Switch.
Yeah,
Oh.
no, but last year they said we're not doing a new Switch, and they had the Switch Lite. So
Oh, okay.
I think they're just, they're Nintendo. They just didn't say
Actors.
that shit, and then because they want their announcement to be big, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So
fair enough.
It was kind of strange that they said that, but they also did say that last year. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, are they going to release one this year and compete with the new consoles?
I would no. I'd hold off till 2021. Let
I
that
think
hype
I
go.
think you have a couple big games this
yeah,
year.
Yeah.
You released your Breath of the Wild 2, your Metro, well, not Metro Prime, but I don't know, some other big shit. And then maybe next year, early next year, mid next year, like May, March.
You think Breath of the Wild 2 is this year?
Possibly?
Wow.
Ooh.
That'd be
Um,
big. Because my
like a
prediction
fall
would be
game.
it would be 2021, and that's when you do the Pro in timing with that game. Sell some new consoles with like everyone's like the hype
like
sequel.
a package. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, you
yeah.
can still do that
Yeah,
later.
true, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I mean, I think like the thing with the Switch Pro is I think a lot of it isn't even necessarily new people getting the console. I think it's people upgrading,
Mhm.
people who already love the Switch so much and just want a stronger version. Like I might get the Switch Pro eventually,
Yeah.
even though I already own one. So I don't know. I thought
Swi-
that was cool.
The Switch Pro will still have like the TV docking, right?
Hopefully,
That's all that matters to me.
That's a set. Like I'm not buying a Switch Lite because I
No.
I use the TV mode a lot.
I would assume that'd be the case. 'Cause
Yeah.
how are you getting? I don't know. I guess a stronger handheld, but not
That's
a lot
what
of
that
people
could be
are.
the case, right? Bigger memory, stuff
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Like
Walks
full
on its
1080
own.
Full 1080p.
Yeah.
Less frame rate drop. Like the frame drops are awful in handheld mode for some games at least.
Internet browser.
Fucking Netflix. Give me Netflix.
Disney
Yeah.
Plus, all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that Disney Nintendo press release of like we've combined. Well, no, because they went with Universal.
That's the thing I
so
really
like,
hope
fuck
for,
us.
when they do the Switch Pro is just like a better UI. The UI is so it's just nothing. It's just
Yeah.
there's nothing.
It's
to
very
it.
basic. Yeah.
They need some more features.
Have you seen the Animal Crossing Switch that they put out?
Dude,
it
I'm
looks
trying.
gorgeous.
I'm trying to swindle someone to buy a Switch, and then I'll pay them like 50 or even I've offered $100 to people. Like, buy this, I'll switch you the dock and the controllers. I fucking want that thing.
It's so nice.
It is so aesthetically pleasing. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Pull it up here.
I want that thing so bad. Animal Crossing Switch. It's like everyone's freaking out about it. I can't justify spending $400 on it, but I can justify spending $100 on it. If anyone out there listening in Kelowna, if you want a Switch,
Oh, it
I
is
will pay
nice.
$100 off your Switch. You can switch docks. We can switch controllers.
Better than the
It's
fucking.
$100 off. It's a good deal.
I was always
Oh, yeah.
disappointed with the Smash when they put out. I was expecting so much more when they're like,
I
we're
was
making a
expecting more,
Smash
yeah.
exclusive, and then it's just like
Yeah.
the lowest. Like, come on, you guys, Smash, you have so much you could do with that, but
Totally.
Yeah.
not on this day.
Yeah. The other thing, and this is like, it's not really big news thing necessarily, but so we know about Outerworlds is coming to the Switch. They officially
Mhm.
announced today. It's like early March, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
kind of sooner than I was expecting actually.
Mm-hmm.
But so they announced it that like it has you can buy the case for it, but the case doesn't have the fucking Switch thing.
Cartridge?
Doesn't have that's the word I'm looking for. Cartridge. It doesn't have a cartridge. It's just like a download code.
Really?
Yeah, and then like I just saw a ton of tweets of people just fucking freaking out about this. Like
Well,
I
you got
took
your
some here because I just thought it was funny. Well, that killed my interest, says this guy. And that guy says, why did they do this? And this guy's name's Lucifer, so he's probably like a known troll or something. Because he says because Nintendo is an awful company, not even proper grammar, just because Nintendo is an awful
That
company.
was me. No.
So that was kind of wild. Massive middle finger to the Nintendo Switch community. Shame on you, Obsidian. This guy just says sus, which I appreciate. No cartridge, no buy. Damn, I was really waiting on this version. And then this guy uses the Michael Scott. Nope, don't like that gif. But like if people were freaking out, they're like, I'm not buying this anymore. Like this is like I get it. Like you can't trade it with your friends. You can't
Yeah.
like give it to
Yeah.
your friend to play. Like if you do want the case, like I guess the only reason you'd get it is if you want the case on your shelf, and maybe if you have like space issues on your Switch console, which I mean is natural because it only has 32 gigs. But like, is that big of a deal? Like, I just want your guys' take because to me, I guess to me that's not like a deal breaker.
Yeah, like the biggest thing for me would just be you can't share with friends, and
Yeah.
like I have a buddy who's lent me a bunch of games, so
Mhm.
if he bought that, I obviously wouldn't get.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be the
But
case.
if you've been
but
waiting like months and months for this, and you're like, man, I can't wait for this for the
No,
Switch, and then they
exactly.
announce this, are you instantly like, I'm not?
no, 100% not. Like if I was hyped on a game, like I feel like I would even be happier that I got the deals or the digital code because I wouldn't have to. Oh, I have Smash or I have
Yeah,
I
right
have
now
Smash
I'm
right now.
right
I
now
gotta
I'm like
take it out.
switching
put it
between
back
Fire Emblem and Smash Bros on
Yeah.
like daily, and it's not.
in. Yeah, exactly.
No, I
So
don't wanna do
then
that.
you could just be right there, switch
Mhm.
games. I don't know.
Yeah, I missed her. I've been doing digital for the whole time. We just started doing it this year so we could share games for reviews and whatnot. So I probably will still do that in the future because I know like Last of Us, you guys are kind of like, but even then I might still buy it physical so you could play it and whatnot. And I think with Avengers we should probably do that because I don't want us all to spend money on that one. So yeah, I think it's like a thing I'd go that's odd, but I wouldn't say that's a deal breaker.
Yeah.
I always say it's like the Sonic design thing. I think half those people are just we're never gonna buy the game and just like that they can use that as a reason why they didn't buy it and they can be mad that there's no physical or something like that. So if it happens, so they're kind of hoping it doesn't happen to their franchise or their game. But I think it is odd, but I guess it's just the way it is now in life that I'm still surprised games are still physical, to be honest. I really think that I thought it would have ended sooner by now, and especially with stores closing, EB Games, like not here, but over the country here, like what was the thing, GameStop in America a few months ago, like a bunch went out of business. So it's like Best Buy doesn't sell movies. They just have like a small game section.
I guess it's just like storage.
Yeah.
Like hard drive space is like still kind of expensive. Like it's getting cheaper all the time, but it's still somewhat expensive, right? Like I had to buy an SD card for my Switch because I just straight up didn't have enough room anymore. Yeah. But like, I don't know. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
No, I don't think so. I think it's just some people being weekend warriors, right, Taylor?
Yeah. They're fucking on their keyboards going ham.
So where do you...
the negative ones.
Taylor, you're a known physical copy guy. You get physical copy for like everything if you can.
This guy has to buy bookshelves.
Where do you stand on this? Like if you go to buy... Maybe Call of Duty's a bad example because it's millions of gigabytes. But if you go to buy a game... If you go to buy the next Assassin's Creed game, it's like, here's your case, but it's actually just a download code. Like, are you boycotting the game? Are you not buying it anymore?
I wouldn't.
I know it's an extreme example,
boycott it. I think.
Well, you get the case. I feel like when you buy in the physical copies, you're more.
You want it on your shelf.
Yeah, you want it on the shelf.
I want it on my shelf. I like, as like a geek, I like walking into a room and seeing like the nice row of shelves, like every single copy of Assassin's Creed, every single copy of Star Wars. It's like, damn, I respect that. It looks so tight.
The way you said that, it's like you just, anytime you go into a new person's house, you're like, man, I hope they have all these Assassin's Creed.
I'm looking for it. I'm let down a lot, ladies and gentlemen.
When you open those cases, it smells like Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Oh, it smells just like clean and like factory manufactured.
Classic.
Yeah.
Clean and factory manufactured.
But me personally, like I've been kind of like preparing myself for the day that digital is going to be the only thing. And in that sense, I feel like, okay, the Xbox One S has kind of like transitioned to where they have cheaper cheaper Xboxes, like versions of it without the disc drive in there. So I felt like, okay, this is Xbox making a serious statement that they're slowly, like, yes, it's an alternative for people who can't afford to buy like a brand new Xbox, and this is a great option because you have that and your Xbox Live with Game Pass, and then you're laughing. You don't need hard copies. You got all the games right there. So in this sense, I feel like they're making a statement that they're slowly going to progress to being digital only and remove the disc drive and then implement, that's more space for more power. And in my mindset, I would think that, okay, because the Xbox Series X is coming out with the disc drive, and I feel like, okay, now it's only a matter of time that if they're going to be releasing new consoles every like couple years that are more powerful, and it's like a trade-in or however they're doing that plan, that one of those consoles down the line will have no disc drive in it.
Options, right?
Yeah, and then they're going to slowly just start conforming the player base to that kind of like trend, because that means, you can make the console smaller, you can have more power in it, and overall it'll make things better. So I love having my cases, and I love having like a game like a hard copy because I can resell it, I can trade it, I can do whatever you want for it.
And like eventually some of these things might go to business, and like that game is straight up into oblivion.
Exactly.
You don't own that anymore, right?
Exactly.
That's what's like a scary thing. Like I like competition with Steam, but at the same time, if Steam goes under, which is decades out, that's hundreds of games that I just lose.
Yeah. Like personally, I feel refund. Like if you are going to be selling a game, for $79.99, that's fair. It's a hard copy. It's whatever. But then if I go home and I can see that the exact same game is still $79.99 for a digital copy, I think that's wrong. I feel like, okay, they need to account for the fact that this game isn't being manufactured and shipped. Yeah. This price should be decreased significantly. And granted, it does go on sale. Like Fallen Order was like 20 or 10% off if you had Star Wars Battlefront 2 and you bought it digitally, which I think that's kind of cool. But I feel like digital games, there's no reason day one they should be full price. It is, and I think that's highway robbery because they're the games aren't being
extreme.
No, the games aren't being shipped. There's no money going into cases. Robbery. There's no money going into developing the discs or creating the actual physical copies.
Yeah.
It's literally just a digital copy. And I remember like back in the day, I feel like digital copies were significantly cheaper than paying full price for a hard copy game. So I don't know. Maybe I'm still living in like 2008, 2009. But
I think I'm just in a boat where it's like games are expensive to make. There's like hundreds of people working on this game. I feel like $80 for like years and years of work from hundreds of people is like, I'm fine. Like I can justify that if it's not a shitty game. But I guess the last thing I'll say in this Outerworlds thing is like I saw these arguments too who were like, oh, it's such a waste of plastic. Like, oh man, why are they selling these cases if there's no game inside? But like that's a terrible argument because all Switch games are a massive waste of plastic. The amount of plastic that's used to hold this tiny little thing is fucking disgusting.
Even the 3DS or like stuff like
exactly.
That.
Like
Nintendo loves wasting.
That's a terrible argument. Like if that's your argument, then don't buy any Switch game ever physical because that is an entire waste of plastic.
Like I definitely am not against the fact of like getting the case for like pre-ordering the game because I still feel like it's a cool collectible, and I have a few cases that don't have like the games in them. They're just the cases. Like I have a few like Steel case Assassin's Creed cases without the games in them just because they're collectibles, right? I like having those kinds of things. So I don't know. It's to each his own. Some people are just hissy fitting.
Some people are highway robbers.
They're fucking highway robbers.
I just want to get your guys' take on that. I just found it interesting how rage people were. But I guess I shouldn't be surprised.
People like
internet
rage culture, you know.
Good old internet.
You guys got any gaming news?
Other than what I think you might bring up.
KOTOR.
Sure.
Yeah, so we can start with that. There is a rumor going around. They say they're the first people that broke the Obi Wan news, which is kind of true, but it was a rumor for a while, that EA is looking into remaking / reimagining Knights of the Old Republic. I don't know exactly what that means.
My first thought when I saw reimagining would probably be pretty much the exact same story, but maybe reimagining like the combat system, because I felt like that was like the one thing that's like I wasn't the biggest fan of. Maybe it just was a dated thing, like that game came out a long time ago.
I agree. That's the most sluggish thing, because I'm not a big turn-based guy anyways, but it feels different in the game when it feels very RPG-ish.
Yeah, it's like all dice rolls, basically. Like the more stats you have, it impacts your dice roll, so that when you shoot, like obviously the dice roll go, and then it'll make a hiss. It'll make a hit or a miss depending on like their dice roll, right?
Shoutouts to Marwin. That's the same thing.
So I don't know. I'm all down whether it's reimagining, because that game is a hidden gem, and I feel like everyone should experience that.
I don't know if it's a hidden
that would be
gem.
the place that I would play it for the first time.
I feel like not everyone has heard about it though.
I feel like it was just such a big thing for the first Xbox. It was like a console seller.
Yeah.
Like a
when I think
killer
of
app.
the first Xbox, I think of the original Halo.
Fair enough. Yeah.
KOTOR's up there though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Because it was an exclusive, like for a
Was
while,
it?
or is
Oh,
it
okay.
always?
Ever.
Ever?
It never came to PlayStation.
There you go.
See, I didn't know that.
I think that would change. I know they did
When did it
PC
come-
and
yeah,
mobile, but
was the PC, because the PC came out a long time ago. I still have
Yeah.
my hard copies of that.
yeah,
So
that might came out around the similar time, maybe
Yeah.
a few years. But yeah, definitely the combat stuff I want changed, because I don't want turn-based. I think that would feel very dated in this time. And I think they would take the idea of the story, but I still think they would change the story just for there's the big twist that everyone knows about.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I don't think they want to go through the motions, and it might be a thing where it relates to new canon. So I think they would change it, kind of be, if it is like a reimagining, I think they'd mostly take it, but change maybe a few names here, things.
I
things
saw
like
some
that.
people talking about too that it might be and this is all just speculation, whatever, but that it might be like a combination of KOTOR 1 and 2.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that? Because KOTOR 2 was not really well received, generally.
I don't know what they'd be comboing other than the story had some kernels of really good ideas, because it was more into like mysterious Sith stuff going on, and like the first one had that, but this with what's her name, is it Kira, the old lady that's cloaked, Treya, yeah, like she is like a lot of like canon stuff. That's the only thing, because the game is pretty similar as far as the problem with KOTOR 2 is like you could make good or bad, but
how sequel-y is it?
Not at all.
Not at
It
all?
picks up on its own. I, in my headcanon, just said it's the same character, but really it's a whole different one.
Okay.
There's like shout-outs to the first one, but the choices felt less important. It felt like you were going to get to this ending no matter what. Well, in KOTOR, it really feels like your choices matter. So I don't know what they meant by that. So maybe it is just the story. So that's why I think we're going to get a story similar to one of them, but I think they will switch it up. But yeah, I don't know what other, like, it was still turn-based. It was still, like, graphically, it wasn't like a huge leap or anything like that. So yeah, that's the only thing I would think. But yeah, I hope they do it. They've been talking about it for years, and I really want it. It's my like second favorite game of all time. So
it probably wouldn't be from like Respawn though, right? Yeah, like they're probably making Fallen Order too.
Yeah.
Whatever the Jedi, whatever the next game's called.
Yeah.
Taylor, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, like personally, I think there's so much story and lore in that time period, and I think whatever their new trilogy is going to be, I think a game coming out that focuses not being like a tie-in or connected to the movies, but kind of like a game associated with that kind of like a time period in the past would be it bounces back and forth, not on the same level as the Fast game and Fast 9, but like it's interesting dynamic, and so. Like I personally, in my opinion, like I enjoyed Knights of the Old Republic 2 more than the first one, just because I felt like I played
Obsidian.
Yeah, playing the second one, like to me it felt more scary at times, and just like
I'll give you that. Yeah.
Darth Sion was just so intense, and I really liked how Darth Treya kind of like her story kind of like transitions, because when I was little I didn't know a lot about all these characters in the story, so I wasn't like I didn't pick up on the sense like, oh, she turns bad and just betrays you and stuff like that. And
I just can't believe over the Revan reveal you prefer the second story, because
I like Darth Nihilus. Like I love Revan. I think he's awesome, but I definitely love Darth Nihilus. I just think like he's so like terrifying, and
so the dude with the mask.
Yeah, he like sucks Force energy.
He's like the cover of the second game, right?
Yeah. So I think there's so many like awesome Sith characters that they can tackle in this, and like granted, like if they do a game, I would want. If I had to pick the primary focus to be on Revan and like his story and
Revan,
sorry, I get Revan.
I was like Ruban. He's in that.
But yeah, I would want it to focus on his story, and then if it was like a combination of the first like second that you said, Dylan, I think that's actually like prime. I think that'd be great.
Cool. Redo
the combat system. Focus on Revan's story and then transition it and maybe like end it off leading towards like Darth Treya and Darth Nihilus and Sion, because I think Malak and Revan have like such an interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
So
I like what Travis was mentioning, how like if they are redoing it, maybe like change like still have Revan and Malak in it and having them as a big factor, but change like the character that you play, maybe, just because since like if you're someone that's already played that game, what's going on?
Are you me and Taylor wearing the exact same pair of jeans?
I'm team anti-jeans. So
Were you
I'm not
checking
wearing
out the
jeans.
seams? We look pretty similar. Holy crap. Is it Levi's?
This is some crazy shit. So we got 3 boys right now that are all wearing the exact same pair of jeans.
I'm wearing those kinds.
Okay, not all the same.
I'm wearing Old Navy.
Are any of you?
I'm Old Navy.
I think.
Oh.
So Taylor and
I got
Travis are wearing the
Levi's.
same jeans.
Are you doing the tight or the slim fit?
I'm. I think whatever's not as tight.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm doing too.
Okay.
It's not as tight, yeah.
That was good to talk about.
I was just having an
Find us
outer
next
body
week, Con.
experience.
Yeah, so like keep Revan and Malak in there, but maybe change like the main character that you play as. Just I don't know. I feel like
The reason they also changed too, because you could only play as a male the first go around. I think they changed that up.
No,
Yeah,
totally.
yeah.
So
I think there's maybe like a twist, like the whole twist. Spoilers for the first game is you're so and so. You name your character, and then it reveals like midway through the game, more near the end, is that you were Revan and you lost your memory. So you were this evil Sith Lord. That's how you had all these powers. I think they would play that up, and you think that reveal is going to come, but they would do something else with it this go around. That'd be maybe
cool.
you weren't Revan or that, but I think they'd play on that, because if they're trying to be like a Game of the Year status, if it's just the same story, like I guess Resident Evil 2 did that, so it's like, but they still changed up, so maybe they can just do give it a new coat of paint and get a lot of praise. So
yeah.
Well, I mean, especially if it was exclusive too, or even like because you said it was on PC as well. But I feel like at the time PC was more of a hardcore audience thing, whereas now it's like more like a lot more people are just gaming in general there. But
I don't think it would be exclusive this go around though.
No, definitely.
No, I
not.
think they'd want that Sony
That's Star Wars
backing.
money.
Yeah,
Give me that on
yeah,
Switch,
100%. Yeah.
you want it on your PS4.
Oh yeah.
If
Your
for
Prius.
a game like this, I think if you like obviously change the combat setup and the combat system, and still like employ like the ability to turn people and recruit people,
You
like you
have
can
to.
like turn
Oh,
people
yeah.
to the dark side or turn people to the light side. I think that's awesome, and like still be able to like outfit them and like change their gear, kind of like why am I drawing a blank right now?
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Outer
Worlds?
Yeah, Outer Worlds. I was gonna say Outer Wilds. Fuck.
You could. I love that game.
Outer Worlds, like how you can actually like deck out like your team and like
Yeah.
customize them. I think that kind of like gameplay and like setup would actually be really, really awesome.
I hope more developers follow in that footstep of that companion system in Outer Worlds is really good. So.
Yeah.
Well, there
Maybe
we
in
go.
Outer Wilds too.
Outer Wilds. No, that's a you have to do that game alone.
I wouldn't know. I haven't played it.
You should play it. It's on sale right now. PS4. Go buy it, please. Do yourself a favor. Play Outer Wilds.
Anything else? Are we done for this?
I think that's about it, boys.
And here, close another news episode. Like we said, we got reviews for the next 2 weeks. Taylor, you don't got to tell them where we are. They know.
No, they know. They know.
Top.
They found out.
Yeah.
They found out.
So thank you very much for tuning in. We'll be
Found
back as
out.
always. Also, next week, I forgot, we'll be, because we're about to tape now, will be the Golden Geeks winners reveal for the decade and 2019. Got some good discussion. So thank you for tuning in. As always, we'll see you next time. I mean,
Later.
promise it won't be boring.
Later, Gator.
Bye-bye.